be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. So subscribe and hit the bell icon right now. So today we're going to be discussing Hinge. Yes, Hinge is a dating app if you're not familiar with it. And there is a category to say that your sexual orientation is asexual. You have to click the more button though, because it only comes up with like lesbian, gay, bisexual, heterosexual, and other, I think, something like that. It doesn't come up with other actual sexual orientations with asexuality until you click the more button. So if you are joining Hinge, make sure you do that. Now, Hinge is spelled Hinge, just in case you didn't know. And it is, in fact, best to use it on your phone. I think I tried to set up a profile over a year ago on the desktop, my laptop, I should say, and it just didn't work. So I'm glad they've got a category for asexuals, but so far I haven't seen one single asexual guy on there. I'm into guys, so I don't know what it's like in terms of women on there, but I've not seen an asexual guy or anyone on the asexual spectrum whatsoever on there. So far, I've seen a pansexual, but not an asexual person. You can't filter by asexual. You can say you're asexual, but you can't filter by that, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. It's the same with Badoo. You can say you're asexual on there, but you can never filter by asexual. And so I think that's really hugely disappointing. I understand they're probably doing it because maybe there's not many asexuals on there and they think if you just go on there, filter by asexual, and then, you know, you don't get many matches, you might just leave it quite quickly. But at the end of the day, I still think it would be good if they had a filter where you could filter by asexual. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I want to see other people like me. And in a vast array of people, predominantly heterosexuals, that's kind of difficult to do. Even if they want to force you to see other sexual orientation, I think it should at least have an option to show asexuals at one point. Do you know what I mean? But it just doesn't do that. And I think that's hugely disappointing. So good they've got a category for asexuals. I think that's great. I think that's fantastic to feel included, but I think it's bad that you can't filter by asexual. So the people I'm seeing are all heterosexual apart from one guy so far who was a pansexual. That was a demi, well, I say guy, it was half guy, demi boy, I think it was, or demi guy. And then I got to get confused, like, is that a demisexual guy? But it didn't say demisexual, he just said demi guy. So I'm guessing he's half guy or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's part class as a guy and part class as another gender, I think. But I got a bit confused by that. And yeah, and that person was pansexual. So I guess they're a demi guy. Pansexual means they identify partly as a guy and pansexual. So that was the only person I saw on there who's not actually heterosexual. And that's a bit disappointing as an asexual person. I want to see people who are asexual. I want to find some guys who are possibly going to be a match for me. But alas, it's only heterosexual straight guys that I see. And there's nothing wrong with that in terms of, like, I can talk to anyone. But at the end of the day, a lot of heterosexual guys can't live without sex. And as a sex repulsed asexual person, it makes life very, very difficult because, of course, there's guys I like on there. Like, I can like the look of them. I could like some things even in their profile. But, you know, if they're wanting children, for example, I don't want kids. And, you know, if they're wanting children, that includes having sex usually to do that. And usually means they like sex. There was one guy who, you know, he liked me, but I looked at his profile and he made a joke about the fact that condoms fell out of his pocket at the airport and everyone was like looking at him in the queue. And I said, thank you for liking me, but you love sex and I hate sex, so we wouldn't be a match. He's like, oh, do you really think I love sex or something like that? I'm like, yes, and then just unmatched with him. I mean, it's pretty obvious if you keep a pack of condoms in your pocket to hand, you like a lot of sex. Do you know what I mean? It's pretty damn obvious. So I don't even know why people waste their time trying to say something different. So far on there, I have got a number of matches. I've had at least 7 matches on there. But I think most of these guys are literally just looking at my photograph. I don't think they bother to read my bio. Or if they do, the majority of them are ignoring it. There's one person who looked at my bio because he picked out what he thought was a spelling error in my bio. But I couldn't find the spelling error that he said about. And then when I talked to him about it, so I couldn't find it, he goes, oh, he goes, oh, it's a mistake. It's like someone else's bio, like another match or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, if that's what they're going to be like, and they were quite confusing as well. So you've got to look out for people who try to confuse you, because I was thinking, where is this spelling error? I can't find the spelling error. And I felt like they were lying, because I was like apologetic about it, saying, oh, sorry, I'm a writer, but like even writers make mistakes, especially when I'm not in writing mode. And he's like, oh, that's okay. And then I found out that it's not even there. He's just making it up, probably. I don't know. But if all he can do is focus on a so-called spelling error that wasn't even there in the end. Because I looked at it, I said, it wasn't there. I said, you know, it's not there. I can't find it. And then he's like, oh, it's somewhere else. And then he's like, oh, it's someone else's profile. Do you know what I mean? So, but he was wasting my time, really. So you do get some time wasters on there. You get people keeping you in conversation, but they don't actually want to have anything serious. Like this guy, I said to him in the end, I said, look, you're a smoker. I'm not interested in smoking. You're looking for short-term and casual. I'm not interested in that. Hello, everyone in chat. Hello, Jerry from USA. Nice to see you. And so I was just like, I'm not interested in that. Do you know what I mean? Short-term relationships, casual relationships. The person turned out, obviously, to not tell the truth about my profile. A spelling error that wasn't even there. It wasn't even my profile. And then, you know, they were, what else were they? They were smoker. And in the end, I just unmatched with them. So sometimes you've just got to match quickly if people are wasting your time, because you have to remember the most valuable asset you have is your time. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to swipe through people. That's why people find dating apps very exhausting, because, you know, you can like swipe like 20 or 30 people until you actually find someone that might be interesting and might possibly be a match. But I'm finding that some people's bios I really like, but it's just not, you know, they're just not suitable for me. So I don't know what someone's writing in. Nobody would ever touch you. You're as not by choice. You're as not. I don't know what I don't know what that means. But it's that nobody would ever touch you as not by choice. It makes no sense. It's not even grammatically correct. And unfortunately, it's not true. No one would touch me. That's the whole point. I don't want to be touched. I'm asexual and sex repulsed. I'm not interested in being sexually touched. I like physical affection, though. And oh, hi from Kurdistan. I appreciate you being here. So, so yeah, so I get a lot of guys that are interested in me, but they don't read my bio. So yeah, one guy though, I said to him, I said, oh, thank you for, no, I said like, oh, actually, I approached him and I said, oh, I'm honest and I like honesty too, because he was going on and on about honesty in his profile. I said, but I'm not heterosexual. And he's like, oh, that's all right, sweetheart. It's fine by me. And I'm thinking, what on earth? Like, fine by me is doing nothing. It's not reading my profile. It's not reading my bio. It's not reading, you know, and saying, okay, so tell me more about my tell me more about your sexual orientation. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like really, really important. So someone's asking me, where am I from in the UK? I live in Exeter in Devon. I'm asexual, haven't had sex for or cared about it for over 20 years for real. Magic Monkey. Yeah, I haven't had, when I did have sex in the past, I'm an asexual person that has had sex, but that was in 2011. So I'm 15 years this October and I'm so happy about it. I don't want sex. I have no interest in it whatsoever. No interest in it. And I had it in the past because I thought I had to as part of a normal relationship, because that's what society dictates, right? You think that, you know what I mean? People are like, oh, it's not normal if you don't want sex. It is normal for some people to not have sex. And people in relationships aren't having sex all the time. There's loads of heterosexuals that are not having sex for months on end. Do you know what I mean? So it's just crazy when people go, oh, love is sex. It's like love and sex is not the same thing. It's two completely different things. There are people that love each other for years and they don't have sex and they're not even asexual. Wow, you look so younger. Of course I'm young. Are you 50? No, I'm under 50. Thanks very much. God. I said that before on this channel. Oh my God. So yeah, I've been out tonight, a meet-up. Well, last night now, because it's in the early hours of this morning. So I was on Hinge and then I went to a meet-up with real people in real life. Do you know what I mean? And someone was asking me about my channel. They were remembered me from a previous meetup. I haven't seen them for about 2 years, I think it is. And they're like, "Oh, so how's your channel doing?" I said, "Oh, my asexual one." They said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, I've had over 2,300,000 views on it now, and I work really hard on it. I'm posting every day, like short videos every day." So yeah, it's really nice of them to remember this channel. So it was nice to have that when I went out, because I did have people asking questions about me. I got on well with the people there. It's a really nice meetup. And I really, really appreciated gonna die alone childless. Oh, thank God for that. Especially the gonna die childless. I don't want children. And if I die alone, I'm used to it. I'm alone all my life. Most people come into the world alone and they die alone. That's okay with me. Who cares? Right? I've come to terms with the fact I might die. I want to die childless. I don't want any kids ever. I knew at 15 years old I don't want any children. And I come to the terms with the fact I'll probably die alone. Yeah, I probably will. And that's okay. If I'm not in a relationship with someone, I probably will die on my own. And yeah, I came to the conclusion of that this year. And I'm like, it's okay. It used to freak me out, but actually it's very interesting. I'll tell you a little story. It's got nothing to do with that Hinge, but I'll get back to Hinge in a minute because I know you want to hear about that, right? So at one of these meetups I went to this year, there's a guy who actually works in a funeral parlour. I used to live next to this funeral parlour for years in a flat, in a house next to this funeral parlour. And I was talking to him about death, right? Because obviously he deals with dead bodies all the time. And usually I wouldn't talk about this. It would freak me out, right? But he really helped me. Because I was like, oh, I might die on my own, in the future. I'm really worried about it. And I was so stressed out about it. And anyway, after talking to him, I didn't really feel stressed about him at all. He's like, well, when you're dead, you don't even think about it because you're dead. You don't even realise it. It's not really going to hurt you because you're going to be dead by then. So once you're dead, you don't even think about it. You're just dead. And I'm like, oh, he's got a really good point. He's like, so he said, oh, so what I think is I've lived my life to the max. I've really enjoyed my life while I've been here. And he says, oh, I've touched a woman. It's like, because he knows I'm asexual. Because he actually had an asexual friend, and the girl that was sat on his table, who's friends with him because she's going out with his best mate. She knows someone who's asexual as well, so it's really nice to talk to them. So there's more and more people I'm finding at meetups now that know about asexuality, which is just really incredible. And when he was talking about their bodies and everything, I was asking him loads of questions. I couldn't believe how much I was asking him. This is a previous meetup, not the one I just went to. And yeah, it really helped me in my mind because he's like, oh, I just feel that I've lived my life to the max. I've really enjoyed it. I've touched a woman. I've done loads of things. So he's only 25 and he's like, I feel like I lived a good life. So if something happened to me tomorrow, I'd be quite satisfied with it. And I was thinking that's a really good attitude to have, just live life to the max as much as possible now, so that if you do die, and when you die, well, everyone's apparently going to die, but you never know, technology's moving. They reckon in a number of years' time, you might be able to live forever with AI and everything. Who knows? But they'll probably end up being cyborgs, and you'll probably end up being you and part robot or whatever, maybe. It's a bit sinister to think about that in some ways, isn't it? But then you might like it. People freeze themselves as well. Some people do. And, they might be able to reactivate themselves years later. So who knows? There might be a time, even in my lifetime, where you can live forever or live for much longer at least. So we don't know that, do we? But it's all to play for, as Matthew Hussey would say from the Love Life Club that I'm in here. It's all to play for. So I'm browsing YouTube to improve my English, and I think you have a British accent. Of course I have a British accent. Thank you. You're dead until you're alive again, bud. Think about it. Yeah, exactly. That's true as well, because I'm spiritual. So, my soul lives on. I'm sure my soul has been here a lot longer. I believe I've been here before. I've talked about this already on this channel, but it's going into spirituality, and we're supposed to be talking about Hinge. But yes, I believe I've been here before, and, I'm a soul from a previous life in this body. But I'm young in this life, which I love. So, and also, so in Hinge, going back to Hinge, because we want to talk about the dating app Hinge, because this is why we're here. There is a category when you can say, what's your religion? You can say spirituality, which I really love, because I do believe in God, but not in the way a lot of people believe. I don't believe in the Holy Spirit. And I talk to God, but I'm very spiritual. So I believe in God and the universe, and that they both work together. But that's just personal to me, you know what I mean? So yeah, who's got a stone heart for eternity? Well, that might be you, but it's not me. I got a nice, open, beautiful heart for the right person and people. So yeah, when you're on dating apps, it's really important to be open and warm and kind and caring, but also to just know there's a lot of time wasters on there. So like I said, there was one guy I started talking to, and they were clearly wasting my time where they were like just picking up on a typo that wasn't even from my profile in the end. Do you know what I mean? And they're just wasting my time when they're completely incompatible with me. So I find it really easy to unmatch with them on there. So you can match, and then if someone's like not your type and you're not getting on or something, you know, they're just wasting your time, you can click unmatch. So, and it's quite easy to swipe. I like the graphics on Hinge. The graphics are really nice. The photographs, the way they lay the photographs out is good. But one thing that really annoys me is if you haven't got the paid for, because you can get a paid for version, which they keep trying to promote. If you just got the free version, you can only have one filter, which is different with Badoo, I think. Badoo, I think you can have 3. I've got Badoo Premium because they gave it me for free, which you usually have to pay for because I've been on Badoo so long, and I talk about Badoo on my other channel, Asexualise Dating, quite a bit. I break down people's profiles in there. It's quite interesting. So don't forget to subscribe to Asexualise Dating if you want to see more of those types of videos. And so, yeah, but on this Hinge, you only get one filter. So I filtered by age because, as you know, I'm into younger guys. I'm not interested in guys near my birth certificate age. I'm not interested in my birth certificate age. So I put my birth certificate age on my profile, to be honest. But I say that I'm not, you know, I'm not interested in it. And I just filter by the age group of guys that I really like most, because I don't want to be having guys that I'm not attracted to at all. I'm asexual, but I still experience aesthetic attraction. And so I think it's very important that people understand that just because asexuals don't experience sexual attraction or they lack sexual attraction in the usual way, we can still have attraction in multiple other ways. So I have aesthetic attraction, and particularly for guys that are clean shaven. And once again, on this dating app, like lots of other dating apps, there are lots of guys that have hair on their face. And I spoke to one guy who matched with me, and I said, thanks for matching with, you know, well liked me. And then I speak back to them. I was like, thank you for liking me. However, I am looking for a guy who is clean shaven. And also, you look like you're into traveling, because I had to tell him that I'm not really into traveling. But plus, he goes, oh, I'm willing to be flexible for the right person, like with the beard. He goes, oh, I can make my beard lighter. And I'm like, but I don't like any facial hair, you know, because I like kissing, right? I'm not interested in sex, but I love kissing. And I like kissing, like skin on skin, really smooth, so that I can actually, you know, like feel the guy's skin against mine. And I don't want bristles either, because bristles hurt my delicate face, you know. And I really love kissing. It's a must have. The deal breaker for me is kissing, right? A lot of asexuals are not into much kissing. They're not into much physical kissing like I am, but a lot of asexuals as well aren't even romantic. I'm hyper romantic and a hyper kisser, so this makes it very difficult for me to find a good match, because with heterosexuals, most of the time, kissing is a precursor to sex. And I just like kissing for like the starter, the main course, and the dessert. I like kissing all the way through. Kiss, 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 kiss. With my clothes on, not naked. I'm not interested in a guy seeing me naked. Kiss, 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 kiss. Kiss, 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 kiss. And so that's very difficult, because I don't really fit into the asexual sphere in terms of what other guys are looking for usually, you know, with asexuality. So the asexual guys I come across most of the time, you know, I'm too sexual in behavior with the way I like to kiss, for example, even though I don't experience any sexual attraction at all. And then for heterosexuals, they're still not into kissing as much as I am, but they're into kissing more. But it's always usually like leading to sex, and I'm not interested in that, because they find it hard to get, you know, to hold themselves back in the urges. And they're like, how are you doing that yourself? And I'm like, I'm not doing that, because as an asexual person, I don't get sexual urges. I don't get sexual needs and sexual wants in that way. I'm not interested. I don't have a need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse, because that's what asexuality is. It means I lack sexual attraction. I'm a pure asexual who experiences no sexual attraction, as opposed to some people that are grey asexual on the sexual end of the spectrum. Because people who are grey asexual, some of those can experience sexual attraction, but only under limited, rare, specific circumstances, or they experience it but not enough to want to act on it. But asexuality is a minority sexual orientation. So as an asexual person, I've got to find someone that's happy to have no sex forever, right? Happy to basically abstain from sex. Asexuality isn't abstaining. I don't get the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse, but someone who's abstaining could still have all those urges. And for most heterosexual guys, they can't do that because they really need the sex as a deal breaker, as a basic need, which I understand just means we're not compatible. But obviously, when you're asexual, it makes life a lot difficult. But because Hinge has a category for asexuality on there, then they have to understand that asexuals are welcome in that space. Because obviously Hinge supports the fact that there are asexuals as a sexual orientation, because they wouldn't have the option else. There's actually a lot of options there as well. So I think it's very important that, you know, more and more dating apps are having an asexual category, but the issue is people still are not really understanding what asexuality is. And if they just look at the photograph of you and they don't look at the bio, then, you know, it's just very, very difficult because you think someone really likes you and you just find they just like your picture. And I think it's great if someone likes my picture. Don't get me wrong. It's nice that they think I'm attractive. But, you know, obviously they're swiping probably on a lot of people. Although I don't think they'd swipe on someone that they're not that attracted to at all. However, you know, I put in my bio about being asexual, but a lot of people don't read that. When I say bio, it's very weird with Hinge. They do prompts, and the prompts become like your bio. So you have to pick a prompt like, I'm looking for, and then fill in the blank, you know. Thing you should know about me when dating, then fill in the blank. And you pick what prompts you want, and then put them on the profile. But the problem is like all the time Hinge is going, oh, like people. The more people you like, the more we can send you people, you know, we think you'll like, because the more we can understand what you like. And it's like, why the hell don't you just ask me when I sign up, after I signed up, what type of guy am I looking for? Why keep saying like guys, like another guy, like, so, you know, so we know what guys you like, what type of guys you like, so we can send you more. And it's like, just damn well ask me. So I find that really annoying and frustrating. And I know they're encouraging you to like guys, but I don't just want to like guys for the sake of it unless I think they might be suitable, because it's just wasting my time and it's wasting theirs. So there are a few guys I've liked, but most of them, you know, they're not even really, they're more suitable for me than other guys. But it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, I like Indian guys, for example, but the majority of Indian guys on there so far, they have facial hair and they smoke, and I just don't want to be with smoke. You know, I'm just really not interested in someone who smokes. And yeah, and they have beards, which is just no good for me. I just don't like facial hair, really. I mean, I might be able to put up with a minute bit, but for kissing, you know, long-term relationship, I need someone who's going to be having no hair around here, because I don't want to get hurt every time I kiss a guy, and I need kissing. I need kissing as much as someone needs sex. Like, that's how much I need kissing, but I'm not interested in the sex. So I do get people. I do understand that people have really strong, some people have really strong sexual needs and desires and really need a lot of sex. I don't need a lot of sex. I need a lot of kissing. So I do understand where they're coming from. But with all due respect, they have to respect the fact that, you know, you're asexual and that you have your own needs and wants and desires. And the lack of interest so far about my sexual orientation, and no one's actually asked me about it, means that no one's really that serious about me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, so far, the best person I've talked to is a 22-year-old who lives in Bristol, foreign guy, obviously, because I like foreign guys. And I say, obviously, there are British guys on there that I may take some interest in, but, you know, so far he's the one that's been curious and asked me questions. Like, I said, oh, I'm going out. He's like, oh, what are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I'm going out. And he's like, oh, where are you going to, you know? And he's like, you know, on good night and stuff like that, which I think is really sweet. So I don't think it's probably going to be a match, because he's got a picture of him lifting his top up to show his body. And usually when guys do that, they're like trying to say my body's great for sex or something. But, I mean, he's got no chest hair. I don't like chest hair. So he has got, like, I'm not interested in sex, but from an aesthetic point of view, it's nice to see a guy who's got a chest with no hair on it, because I really don't like hairy chests. So I think that's quite aesthetically pleasing. But, you know, I'm not interested in below the waist, because I'm not interested in male genitalia, because I'm not interested in sex. I'm not interested in any genitalia. Of course, obviously, if I have to see a genitalia, I'd rather it be guys, because I'm only attracted to guys, not women. But, you know what I mean? I don't need to see that. Even when I was in my relationship with my last boyfriend in 2024, it's like I was looking the other way. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't looking at it. Oh my God. Because it's just like I'm not interested in that. I'm really not. But it's hard because I know some heterosexuals, they just like to prance around in their underwear or be completely naked. And it's like, as an asexual person, it's just like I respect the fact that they like the freedom to do that because it's their body and they enjoy that. But I just, you know what I mean? I'm just really not interested. So in the dating app, there's as well as having prompts, there's also this is on Hinge. There's also obviously you put all your date of birth, religion, education, these types of things. Some of them they're like mandatory to be on your profile. Other things you can choose to hide them or not. They have good things on there like voice prompts. You can leave like you can say like something about yourself. Like they give you prompts like the one I've used is say something about like think about like go back and speak to your younger self and what would you say to her. So I did a voice note about that. It's like 30 seconds long. You can put a video on there as well. So some people put video on there, but some people they just swear in the voice note. But then it's good in a way because I know not to go anywhere near them. You know, they're effing this and I'm like, really? God, if that's what you speak like in a 30-second voice note, there's no way I want anything to do with you. And I'll just like, you know, get rid of them off there because it's just like horrible. I'm not interested in a guy who just can't even like have a civilized sentence or few sentences in 30 seconds and has to swear. So that's a complete no for me. And then obviously there's videos as well on there, which is some of them are very strange. I don't know what to make of it. One of them was washing his cuddly toy in the shower, but I do wash my cuddly toys sometimes, so I found that quite amusing more than anything else. A good thing as well about Hinge is they do have like they do say like what do you like do you like smoking, do you like drinking? They actually say about do you smoke cannabis, you know, weed, do you do drugs? So I like the fact they have like drinking, smoking, weed and drugs, all 4 different options, if you know what I mean. So I think it's really good because I don't want someone who smokes or vapes or does drugs or weed. I just don't like any of that stuff. So I think it's really good. But some people, they only put like they don't smoke on there, but they don't say anything about the drugs or weed. So it's like, do you not smoke cigarettes but you still do weed and drugs? It's very complicated to work that out. Do you know what I mean? It's like, do you even want to take a risk on speaking to someone like that when you're not sure? And if you've got the free version, you can only have one filter, like I say. So you can't filter out people. I can't filter the non-smokers out when I've decided that my filter is age. So I can't filter the non-smokers out. You know, sorry, I can't filter the smokers out from the non-smokers. I want non-smokers. I can't smoke them out. I was going to say I can't smoke the smokers out. That's so funny. I meant I can't, you know, I can't filter the smokers out. And I can't filter the guys who want children out as well, which I don't want. And like, you know what I mean? I can't filter any of that. So you don't like sex, swearing beards and smoking, plus other stuff. You need to lower your standards. I'm not going to lower my standards. I don't mind someone swearing sometimes, but there's a time and a place for it. And also, like, just swearing in 30 seconds, there's absolutely no need for it. I swear sometimes, but you know what I mean? But I'm not lowering my standards at all because I'm okay being single and happy. Someone wrote on my profile, you look great when you have a little bit of love. The only person giving love is to myself. I'm going out on self-date soon, actually. It's my self-date day today, Sunday. So I won't be on this stream all the time. You might as well accept being alone, and you clearly have a mental health issue also. Oh, thank you, Ryan. That's lovely. Yes, I do have anxiety, actually, and I'm very, very, very open about it on here. So yes, anxiety is a mental health issue. It's a very, you know, it's a mental health condition. There's nothing wrong and shameful in having a mental health difficulty. Can you afford a long-term relationship? I don't go around paying for a guy to be in a relationship with me. Thanks very much. He pays for his, and I pay for my stuff. So Ryan says I'm BPD, so I can see. Well, I'm not bipolar disorder. Thanks very much. I'm definitely not that. I have generalized anxiety disorder, which I have pre-birth trauma. So I was like distressed baby for over 15 hours before I was even born. and I had a 50-50 chance with my mum of living. So I'm glad I'm here because I can help a lot of people. Do you have a cat? No, I don't have cats. I don't have any pets here because when I moved into my flat, you couldn't have any pets, although they've just changed the law in the UK. So, yeah. And my anxiety has nothing to do with me being asexual, by the way. I've been asexual all my life and didn't realise it. It's hard for a guy to deal with, though. Hard for a guy to deal with what? Anxiety. There's loads of people that have anxious attachment style anxiety. Ryan, so I mean, it's hard for people to deal with bipolar, isn't it? I have actually been with you know, I actually had a guy who had bipolar took me out to a meal once, but when he was talking about drug use and everything like that, then it wasn't for me. And when he was telling me about a bipolar, what happened with his bipolar, which is very dangerous, then I'm like, you know, that's not for me. Ryan, yeah, I'm alone and happy. It's good you're alone. You know, it's good if you're happy being alone. I'm happy being single, but I'm still open to love and finding the right person. Just because I've got a mental health difficulty with anxiety doesn't mean to say that I'm not lovable or that, you know, that I can't get on in a relationship. But yeah, relationship anxiety is like my worst anxiety. So that's why I do like being single. I've lived on my own for years. I don't want to live with someone anyway. I don't want to live with someone. I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have marriage. I don't want to have kids. I like living on my own, like paying my own bills, paying my own food, and the guy living his place. So I like living apart together relationship would be ideal, where the guy lives near me but not with me. I'm just saying it's harder for normal people to deal with. Who's normal in this world, Ryan? There's not many normal people. Most people have mental health difficulties in this world. Most people have mental health difficulties. They have depression. They have, you know, like feelings of loneliness often lead to depression. I mean, I was actually asked to be in a relationship on one of my videos, my last live, I think it was. Was it my last live or the live before that? I did a film review last of Masters of the Universe. So no, it was a live stream because I actually got asked to be in a relationship with someone who lives in the same block of flats as me, but he wasn't suitable for me. Do you know what I mean? So, and he was really lonely, and I'm like, I'm not getting with someone just because they're lonely. I get on with him, but, you know, he wasn't, there was a lot of red flags, so, which weren't to do with mental health, but you could argue directly to do with mental health, but he was very, very lonely, you know, and obviously, you know, he's wanting a girlfriend because he's lonely, really, not because he wants a girlfriend for the right reasons. I think I was just a troll. I don't know what you mean. You think who's just a troll, Thomas? I don't know what you're talking about. Which person's a troll? I don't know. There's probably a lot of trolls in this conversation. Like, you tend to get them. So, yeah. So, I can't see all the comments because they go so fast. But yeah, Thomas, there are a lot of trolls. I mean, obviously, the person who's my neighbour's not the guy that was interested. No, he's not a troll. He's my neighbour who's took me food shopping before. Who I speak to. Who's done shopping for me. Oh my God. What you think just because he asked me to be in a relationship with him that he has to be a troll because I can get anyone? Sorry. Yeah, this guy's my neighbour. He lives downstairs. When I say neighbour, he's not a direct neighbour. He lives downstairs in the same block of flat as me. I've known him for a couple of months. Yeah, what you talking about, Thomas? Exactly. Like, I know this person in real life. You know, he's took me food shopping before. I've been in his car with him. He's, you know, I've been like shopping and he's got me food shopping as well on his way home from the gym and stuff. But he's just not, well, by his own admission, he's lazy. Outside of the gym and his work, he's lazy. He says that because I said to him, we're different personality types, you know. He likes spontaneity. He likes to just go with the flow, and he doesn't plan dates or anything. He doesn't even, he wants physicality, and he hadn't even asked me out on a date or a relationship. He did ask me in a relationship, but he did ask, you mean he could still be a troll? No, he's not a troll, as in a troll on the internet. He's not even seen my channel. He's not interested in it. He's not a troll. He's just not good. guy for me, and there's red flags with him, which I explained about on this channel. He doesn't watch this channel. But yeah, I explained about the red flags to do with him. It doesn't mean to say he's a totally bad guy, but he's not at the level of maturity for a serious committed relationship. And he's different personality type for me. And he's not looking to be in a relationship with me for the right reasons. He just wants physicality, I think. So that's no good to me, right? It's like I'm still talking to him. I saw him afterwards, later on the same day as when he asked me to be his girlfriend. I went to his flat and he asked me to be his girlfriend. But I said to him, I don't think it would work. I don't think we're compatible because we have different personality types. You're laid back, chilled and and I need and random and spontaneous, and I need a guy who'll plan dates, be organized, which is what I put in my profile on Hinge. I need a guy who'll plan dates, who's organized, who and to I plan things way in advance because I have anxiety. I plan things way in advance. Like I'm going to London in August. I told him the accommodations booked. I was very open about my anxiety as well. I told him the accommodations booked, the transport's booked, the events booked that I'm going to, the day after Zoo's booked. It's all booked because it's all planned. Because I like to be organised, planned. I like timekeeping is really important to me. And I told him that, and I said, I need a guy to turn up when he says he's going to turn up on time or earlier. Right, because I really need timekeeping. Because otherwise, I said I get stressed and anxious. I said when he took me shoe shopping, I had to wait for him. He was late, and he could have messaged me because he had my number just to say he was going to be late, and he didn't. I said, and when he did that, I then been looking at my phone because I said it was only 6 minutes you were late, but I didn't know how long you were going to be late because you didn't tell me, and so I can't be looking at my phone because I work at night. You know what I mean? My night time, which is when he was taking me out, is my work time. I said, and I'm trying to, if I'm trying to, in the middle of a big project, I can't be looking at my phone all the time because it's making me anxious and I can't concentrate on my work. So I need a guy that's really well organised, that plans it. He's like, oh, well, you can plan the dates. You're good at that. I said, I'm not looking for somewhere where I'm planning all the dates. I need a guy to plan dates as well, not just me. Do you know what I mean? I said, we're just different people. He sounds like a monster. Don't speak to him anymore. He crossed the line, says Ryan. Well, he crossed. Yeah, he did. Yes, I mean, yeah, I mean, he did cross he basically did cross the line actually, but I put him in his place gently. Like I just said, we're not compatible, He clearly doesn't respect you. Yes, exactly. He doesn't respect me. Like, to be honest, I said that in my live stream. What he did, which was the worst, he pressurized me to be physical, like cuddle him. And I said, we haven't dated, we're not dating, and we're not in a relationship. And he just already agreed with me that we weren't suitable. And he wanted me to stay in his flat, and which I don't usually go to guys' flats anyway. He wanted me to stay in his flat with him and cuddle him. I'm like, no. And he was giving me the puppy dog, no, please, begging me. And then he got a bit like, come on. And I've seen that in guys I've been with in the past who really broke my heart. And I'm like, and I know it's coercive, which is a really red flag. And I'm like, I stood my ground. I'm like, no, I'm going. You know what I mean? What a loser he is. And yeah, I did give him a hug goodbye, but that's probably the last time I'm going to actually be that close to him ever again, if you know what I mean. Because I used to hug him when he did the shopping for me. My ex had an abusive boyfriend like this. Really, Thomas. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't realise he's a loser. He has no idea of his behaviour. It's like he's oblivious to it. And he didn't ask me. The red flags were, yes, I am British. The red flags were the major one, which is a coercive behaviour, trying to get me to be physical with him. Well, I've already told him we're not suitable for a relationship. I explained really nicely why, so I didn't reject him badly, because it took him ages to actually say to me that he was attracted to me, because he's like, I've had a really stressful week. I really need to talk to someone and just need a hug. And I thought, as we were I don't even class him as a friend because I don't know him that well, but I class him as like an acquaintance type person. Well, obviously he's done shopping for me, so he's more than just like some person I just said hi to, and I've been shopping with him, but he took me shopping, I should say, food shopping, but always late and never would say it. Sometimes late 2 hours. Oh my God. Yeah, no awareness, says Ryan. Yeah, yeah, so you are perceptive, Thomas, as this, and Ryan, that this person wasn't a good guy. But a lot of guys think this behaviour is fine. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I don't like any lateness, like even a little bit of lateness. The guy you are describing sounds like a narcissist. Thank you, Thomas. I actually did think he's got narcissistic traits, but I was talking to ChatGPT about him, and ChatGPT's not a very healthy AI. I will say that. I got really peed off in the end with ChatGPT. It seems to, you know what I mean? Some of the stuff I said, you know, I think these are narcissistic traits, even if he's not a full-blown narcissist. Do men prefer younger women? Well, I'm not a man. I'm a female, so ask a guy. I'm a girl that prefers younger guys. But anyway, yeah, so the guy who was my neighbour, who was red flagging me, I'd say he has narcissistic traits, yeah. Because he was coercive, very self-centered, obviously, when he was looking for physicality. He didn't ask me any questions about myself. It was all about him, because he was like, I'm lonely. You don't know how lonely I am. And it was like, oh, come on, cuddle me. So very because that's the first time I spent any amount of time with him, like really I gave him an opportunity to talk to me and ask me questions about myself, because he's rushing around. Usually he does work a lot of hours. He's not bullshitting. Literally works around the corner from where we both live. And I usually go past his work and see him all the time in there. But at the moment now, I'm just like not even looking in there anymore. But you know what I mean? So yeah, so he is like, he didn't ask me any questions about myself, so he's not curious about me, which is a red flag. Any guy or person, and they're not asking many questions about you asking all the questions, it is a red flag. But I know he's usually rushing around, so I gave him the opportunity to talk to me. Then of course it was all about him. I told him I had a YouTube channel, right? Get a load of this, right? I told him I have a YouTube channel. So I told him Asexual, I have a YouTube channel, and he didn't ask anything about the channel. Didn't ask anything about why I do the channel, what I like about it or anything. I had to tell him. And I said, oh, I've had over 2,300,000 views on it. And he's like, oh, you can advertise my business on it. And that is a narcissistic trait. Egotistical, entitled, self-centered. These are all narcissistic traits, I have to say. It doesn't mean to say he's actually a narcissist, but they are narcissistic traits, and they're very unhealthy traits. They're very big red flags, right? These are all red flags. And when you've got a number of red flags adding up rather than one random red flag, then you know that you're better off without that person. Don't get me wrong. I am attracted to this. I have been attracted to this guy. I even thought I'd love to be with him and cuddle him, because I'm attracted to him. But when I was there, I didn't let him do any of that. I was really, really strong, because I know that he's not a good guy for me. I could have given in, but I knew that if I gave in to temporary, before he was being coercive, I could have given in, you know, before you started going on and on, which really put me off him anyway. But I could have given in, because it would have been so easy to, and loads of women probably would. And in the past, I would have given in to someone like that who pressurized me. But I've learned from those mistakes I've made not to. So even though I was really attracted to him, but he's got facial hair, which does help, because I don't like facial hair, and I told him that. But he did admit, he said he's lazy. He said he doesn't, you know, he is lazy. He said, oh, outside work and gym, I am lazy. So yeah, don't get blinded by attraction. You've grown. Yes, exactly. I am in the moment when I was talking to him. I was picking because I'm in Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, so I pay for the highest level coaching and training, dating, relationships, and I'm in the third year I've gone into now. Third year. So I was May 2024 I joined, because I was in a relationship then that ended not good for me, and he turned out to be narcissistic. I met him on Facebook dating, actually. Every guy I've met on Facebook dating so far, I mean, I'm not on the app anymore, but when I was on there, 4 guys I met in person, they all ended up being liars, all of them. I was so disappointed, including the guy that I ended up in a relationship with. And he did use my anxiety against me. He did. It was really nasty. When he first started being in a relationship with me, he was all like really caring, going, I used to be like that. I'm here now. I understand you. It's all going to be fine. And then he used it against me. That's what narcissistic people do. They use people's mental health problems against them. Do you know what I mean? And he stonewalled me. I didn't even know the term stonewall. I had to look up what he was doing. Like, he was late. 3 times he was late, right? And it was only early in the relationship. And, you know, and I asked him if I could move the time so that he could be on time, because I realised he had work and food, and he wouldn't let me even move it. So, he did end up being narcissistic. So I joined Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club to better myself, to understand and spot red flags more, so that I'm able to in real time distinguish between, yes, I'm really attracted to this person, I would really like to kiss this person, in terms of attraction and emotional chemistry. I have asexual chemistry towards guys have sexual chemistry towards me, so I get aesthetic attraction, romantic attraction. I still like physical affection, but with clothes on and not in a sexual way, although my kissing can be quite sexual in behavior. So but I'm learning. I've learned how to discern between like the chemistry and when a guy's actually not good for me, which I didn't used to be able to separate. I used to be so attracted to a guy that he used to kind of blind me to how they weren't suitable for me. So I'm trying to improve myself year upon year in dating and relationships, and also loving myself more and more and more, which I do. Because then I can be a healthier person when and if I do get into a relationship for someone with someone else. But yes, anxiety is very difficult. My worst anxiety is relationship anxiety, because I've had quite a lot of traumatic stuff go on in the past with long-term relationships too. I had, but it wasn't good. So at the moment I haven't had a healthy relationship, but I've been dating online for over 10 years in total. So I'm good at understanding like red flags in bios and dating profiles. Like, I'm getting better and better at that as well. But because I've got 10 years online dating experience, like I can get to talk to guys. I can get, or I have done in the past, got real in-person dates and stuff like that. So I'm good at that. I'm more good at the dating side skill set than, I need to improve. I'm constantly trying to improve myself in relationship. It is harder if you've got anxiety, because it's a insecure attachment style. But I haven't got social anxiety anymore, really. Like, I do still have a bit of anxiety when I go out, thinking, oh my god, I'm nervous. But when I get there and even going there, I just coach myself and go, you'll be fine, Sandra, go for it, just be yourself, blah blah blah. And I coach myself through that. So, but in general, I don't have social anxiety. That's the least anxiety I have, and I had that for years. So that was myself who got myself out of that, not Matthew's Love Life Club. But Matthew's Love Life Club's really helped me, especially with red flags. I didn't even understand that when someone's not asking you, till last year, when someone's not asking you many questions about yourself and you're the one asking all the questions all the time, that it's a red flag. I just didn't even, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize, like, even when I had past friendships last year, which I left now, because I realized they weren't healthy for me, because it was me asking, like with one of them, it's me asking all the questions. Like, they would never ask me anything about myself. And with the other person, they end up being aggressive with me. So that was a major, and that was a major thing, that reason I left that situation. But I realized as well, which I brought to their attention, well, there was a number of things. Like, I brought to their attention that our dynamic had changed, but they kept denying it. And then in the end, the aggression, like, I can't be around someone who's going to be aggressive. So, they were clenching their teeth at me in public, and they were like, it's really bad. I wasn't physically safe around them anymore. And I realised, like, over the time that I'd been asking them the most questions, they didn't really ask me much. It was mostly them. And that's not good. Any guy who's like talking about themselves all the time feels entitled or superior. He was acting superior. And do you know what I mean? Like, but in terms of dating, I meet quite a lot of guys that feel entitled. Do you know what I mean? It's like that guy feeling entitled to even have any business on my channel is ridiculous. It must be hard for a guy to resist you, though, if you are a heavy kisser. Well, he doesn't know I'm a heavy kisser because he's never kissed me. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to know whether I even should put in my profile, in my, like, obviously my neighbour's not seen my dating profile. I've not dated him. So do you know what I mean? So in my bio, in my profile, for example, on Badoo, I cut the bit out about kissing. Like, I instead of putting I love kissing, I just took that off there. And I just, like, basically talked about no sex and everything for a long time, because I was getting guys who wanted kissing hookups. I have had guys come. This was not my intention, and they said they were interested in a serious relationship. But in the past, I've had guys that literally will travel miles in the UK to kiss me, hook up with me for kissing, because they know they're not going to get sex, and then they leave, and it's just, like, ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? So I took that off a long time on Badoo, but you know what I mean? But it kind of, like, then you get no matches whatsoever. but it's kind of like difficult. It's because kissing is a deal breaker for me. Like if a guy can't be kissing in public as well, it's a huge deal breaker. I cannot have a guy who won't kiss me in public as well as private. I really need public kissing. I split up with a guy once because he wouldn't hold my hand in public. I feel like a caged animal, so I can't have that. And in my last long-term relationship, we were always kissing, like on the bus, on the train, waiting for theme park rides, wherever we go. And I really loved that part of the relationship. I just didn't need to be with the guy anymore. He wasn't good for me in the end. But yeah, so it's hard to know where to put kissing in my profile or not, because I was getting loads of kissing hookups, so just decided to take it off because that's not what I want, you know. But at the same time, if I don't put it on there, then people don't know that's what I really, really love. And then they might be surprised, or they might think I don't want any physical affection, because there are some asexuals that don't want any physical affection whatsoever. And so because, you know, of that, it's hard. It's very difficult. Well, if a guy is a great kisser, but only if you sleep with him, I won't have sex with a guy. I make it clear. I mean, when you kiss a guy, then it's hard for him to not have sex as you are very attractive. Oh, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Yeah, so that can be an issue, but I tell guys up front I'm not having any sex. I'm not interested in sex. But it is hard, you know, it is hard for heterosexual guys because some of them really find it difficult. They have to have a lot of discipline and self-control, or go and masturbate themselves, obviously, which is an ideal solution for them, really. But I don't really want to see that in front of me necessarily. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? It's hard. It's asexual and heterosexual relationships, when the asexual is sex repulsed, if they're monogamous, which I am, and the heterosexual really wants sex, usually it doesn't work out, or the guy has to like rely on masturbation. But I don't mind if a guy does that, but I just don't really want to see that thing. And it's like a bit, it's kind of like I'd rather him do that in the toilet in some ways, if you know what I mean. And if he's going to watch porn to do it, I don't like that. I mean, I feel watching porn's cheating, so there's that element as well. So, you know, I know what I'm looking for is very difficult to find, and I might never find it in my life. I get that, and I'm okay with that. You know, if I'm single forever, I am okay, because actually I have less anxiety. So far, I'm happier being single than in a relationship ever. And it might always be that way. But I think the most healthiest thing is to be open to love and the possibilities of it, while still remaining very grounded and okay and happy being single. You know, and, you know, like, I didn't even know whether to go on Hinge or not. And my last relationship was over 2 years ago now. And I just felt like I'll try Hinge because I have heard people have good, times on it, or I don't know how to say it. I've heard people have, you know, good experiences on it. And because it has got a category for asexuals on it, I thought maybe I'll have more chance of meeting more asexual guys on there. Do you know what I mean? But as you can't filter by asexual, it's a pain. But so far, I'm liking it in the sense that, you know, the graphics are different. There's more guys to talk to. Some of them actually seem halfway decent. But, you know, you still get a lot of people that just, like, aren't suitable, you know? And so it's really hard. It's hard because everyone's got the same relationship problems in general and dating problems in the world. You know, there's lots of dating problems, a lot of avoidant people on dating apps. You know, people who are avoidant is like, avoidant and anxious attachment are the worst matches, and usually they're attracted to each other. And avoidant is really like just impossible half the time to get on in a relationship with them, because they want to avoid conflict instead of dealing with it head on. They want to avoid any difficult conversations, which you need to have for a healthy relationship. Even I like find it difficult to have difficult conversations, but I've had to learn how to do that. I can do more of them now, but it is hard. It really freaked me out when I had to do it. But I learned in the Love Life Club, Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club, that you know, that you have to have like difficult conversations, even if you don't want to be healthier in a relationship. Which is hard, you know, it's hard even for me, because I don't like conflict myself, but I understand that you have to have these difficult conversations to not get more conflict down the line, you know, so people can be honest and open and express how they really feel and tackle difficulties in the relationship head on, or dating scenario straight away. And I've learned that. So that's like part of my journey. What does Ryan say? The connection you're looking for, you'll not find on app most likely. Yes, well, when Matthew talks, he talks about seeing people in real life as well as on apps. It's better to have both. Like Matthew's brother did actually meet his girlfriend on a dating app. They met on Bumble. So while people say dating apps never work, he's got a really lovely girlfriend. Like they're long distance as well. Well, he's in America and she's in the UK. I've met him and his girlfriend. I met them at the last Love Life Live event. So he did find a really good person for him on Bumble. Do you know what I mean? So dating apps do work for some people. And, you know, I am going out to meetups in real life. I went to a meetup tonight. This is why I'm dressed up. Like, I'm still in my skirt and top from that because I went out, you know. But I thought I'd do a live stream since I'm back. You know, this is not what I would usually wear at home. So I went out and I met people in real life, including guys that I talk to. You know what I mean? So I am meeting people in real life as well. Yeah, but that's what they say. Remember, they want you on it. No, like Matthew Hussey's brother has nothing to do with Bumble. He doesn't need me on the dating app. I'm telling you that Matthew Hussey's brother, Stephen, met his girlfriend on a dating app. They don't need us on a dating app. That dating app has nothing to do with him. But his point is you can meet. Yeah, your mistake. Exactly. Yeah, it has nothing to do with him. Matthew Hussey's Love Life Club is coaching in the 3 relationships of life. It's coaching on the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with other people, and the relationship you have with life itself. Relationship with yourself, others, and your life. That's what it coaches on. So I am literally in there to work on myself, personal development. Most people go in there for just 1 year to find the love of their life. It's going to be a lot harder to find the love of my life, and there's a lot of relationship things I need to learn. And everyone should learn relationship skills. Every person, because people don't know relationship skills, not healthy relationship skills. So that's why I'm there, to learn relationship skills, to learn more about red flags, to learn more about unhealthy behaviors. So obviously I can self-reflect as well as reflect on others' behavior towards me and help myself to become a better person. Matthew Hussey is one of the world's top leading dating and relationship and confidence coach on YouTube. He's got over 3 million subscribers. He's British, but he's moved to Hollywood some time ago. He's very famous, and I pay privately to be in his Love Life coaching club. He also has experts as well. He has coaching is usually every week, most weeks, or at least 3 times a month. They have a gratitude session, and they do live coaching with people who are actually having dating relationship problems and life problems. And they have courses in there. They have, other expert courses in there as well, including Dr. Ramani, who's the world's leading expert on narcissism. There's a course by them. Love of life. Won't they fight? Won't they have problems? Won't they adjust? So, that's what I learned from the best. Have you tried skating? I don't know. I think I might have tried ice skating once, but I'm not good at stuff like that. I tend to stay away. I had a roller disco years ago I went to, and I literally sprained my ankle going on roller skates years ago. I'm not very good at stuff like that. I'm quite accident prone as it is without doing that. So yeah, that's not something I would do. If 2 individuals can manage and keep others' priorities up front, that's a relationship. A healthy relationship is when 2 people are compatible with each other. They have to be compatible. Compatibility is actually the thing of why most relationships don't work. You can have attraction, but that doesn't make you compatible. If you have to have intentionality, both people have to be intentional and want to work as team players in a team and build a relationship together. So do you know what I mean? So in order to have the right relationship, a healthy relationship, you both have to be compatible. Attraction isn't the same as compatibility. Attention is not the same as intention. A person needs to intentionally date and intentionally want to be in a relationship. And they have to want to work as a team and build something. A relationship is something that needs to be built from the foundation upwards, like a house. It don't have to have a house together if you don't want, but you know what I mean? You have to be team players. You have to want to work together as a team. You both have to be enthusiastic about the relationship. You both have to want a relationship. You both have to see commitment as a healthy thing and a good thing. If you're commitment phobic, then obviously that's not going to work. That's not going to be a healthy relationship. So, so you've got to make sure that, you know, there's lots of compatibility in lifestyles, compatibility in goals. So when you're on dating apps like Hinge, you know, you can ask people like what are your, you know, what are your goals for the next few years? Like if I see someone on Hinge and they're like, I want to go traveling, that's not for me, because I like being in the UK. I don't travel on a plane. I'm not interested in that. So if someone wants to go traveling around the world, they want a travel buddy, they want to be traveling with someone, that I'm not for them. Why do these modern humans, why do these modern humans doesn't have any compassion for others they use, and they throw friendship, relationship people, usually to make their situation better, and throw you out, showing you bad person? Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in this world that are not empathetic, and there are a lot of people who are avoidant in this world, and there are a lot of people who don't understand healthy relationships. They don't understand how they work. They don't understand healthy relationship skills. And the people I see that are lonely, they are not learning relationship skills. They're just like, I'm lonely, I want someone. That's not what makes a healthy relationship. Everyone, before they get into a relationship, or even they've been in a relationship and things haven't worked out, everyone should be taking classes and skills and courses in healthy relationship dynamics. Because if you've got one person that becomes more healthier than the other, then obviously there's going to be an imbalance anyway, right? But there are people that will, you can make their life. So I've had to learn to stop being as well, like trying to fix someone. So we can in our life want to fix someone, as in help them to be a better person. Now, I'm not talking about like necessarily, because obviously some people are like, oh, I want to change you. I don't want to change people, right? Because it's not healthy to want to change you. You either should like them as they are, or they're not for you, right? But we all have it, well, quite a lot of us have it in us that we want to help someone if we see them struggling to become a better person. But it's often our version of better that we think that, you know, can think about it. But there's a thing I've learned, that if you help someone a lot, right, really, really better their life, then they can literally leave you behind. And everything that you helped them with, they can take for granted. They can forget where they come from, forget their roots, forget you ever helped them. And then that leaves you feeling used. So I've learned in my life now that if someone is not at the stage that I need them to be in terms of maturity for a healthy relationship, and they're not at the life stage that I think would be healthy for me, then that's their journey to continue on, and they're not right for me. It doesn't mean to say they're a horrible, really bad person. It means they're not right for me. So instead of me trying to think, oh, they're depressed, they're lonely, I want to help them, I'm not thinking that anymore. I'm thinking, okay, they're depressed and lonely. They have some shit, excuse my language, to work on themselves. It's not up to me to change that. It's not up to me to fix it. It's not up to me to help it, right? They need to be in a better place, a healthier place for a relationship. Do you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. Are you ready to accept being alone all your life? Well, yeah, I am alone now. So if I'm alone all my life, I'm alone all my life. But obviously I go out to meetups, so I'm clearly not alone in the sense I have people around me when I go out to meetups and speak. So that I'll never really be 100% alone ever in terms of physicality, if I've got people that I do actually see, because I buy from shops and I actually, you know, speak to people at meetups. Do you know what I mean? And there's someone who messages me regularly on Instagram. A lot of the time she's on holiday at the moment. But you know what I mean? You can lead a house to water, but you can't make them drink. A horse to water, but you can't make... I thought it said house, even though I know it's meant to be horse. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Exactly. I mean, I get so many guys that are like, oh, I'm so lonely. They post it even on their pro. I'm so lonely. I really want a loving partner. It's like, well, what are you doing to help yourself? How have you changed yourself? How have you developed yourself? How have you grown? How have you stopped being selfish? How have you stopped being entitled? Have you stopped dating like a hundred or whatever women that you've dated before? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like I get absolutely shocked that people don't look inwards. I look inwards. Like, I've had relationships that haven't turned out well. I don't just think everything is, I don't just look at the guy being his fault and I don't need to improve myself. I'm like, oh, another relationship didn't work out. What have I got to do to improve myself now? Because clearly I want to get a healthy relationship for me. So I've got some work to do on myself, you know what I mean? Like, it's not all on the other person. But it absolutely shocks me when people think and feel entitled to have just get into a relationship. But I've learned in my life that a kind of like young version of a relationship is like, oh, we like each other, we're attracted, let's kiss and just get into a relationship. That's like the unhealthy young version of like relationship and love. A healthy adult mature relationship, regardless of what age you are, is when two people come together and are actually intentionally interested in each other, being with each other, committing to each other, and want to work together as a team, and that they're compatible. Like I said, that guy who's my neighbour, I was attracted to him, he's attracted to me, but he's not compatible with me. And like you said, he's got narcissistic traits. So unfortunately, I'm glad that you saw that, and it wasn't just me that saw that. So it's quite reassuring when someone else says that as well. Many people doesn't want a happy married life. They want a grand wedding and a person, marriage, and always end up in infidelity after 5 years of relationship. And last marriage is a lifetime commitment. Yeah, I don't actually want marriage, but not because I'm not committed, but because a lot of people, I agree with you, in marriage, they get complacent. A lot of people in marriage get complacent, even in relationships. And I think a relationship is hard enough. And if you find out that your person's cheated, or that, that they've changed their mind, because people change all the time, and often people change not necessarily in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Not necessarily a good way with the person they're with. And so, if they change, I think, marriage, it can be really difficult. If you end up with someone who's abusive, I know someone, not me, I'm not in a relationship, but I know someone who's married to someone who's very abusive to them. But to them, they married for life, but the person is very abusive. Do you know what I mean? That can't last forever with the way it is, because it just makes them really poorly, very, very ill, and they're very, very bad. But it's up, they won't leave until they're ready to leave that person, because they think marriage is for life, which it is, but that person's cheated on them as well. Do you know what I mean? And so, despite them cheating on them at the moment, they're still with them, but, they know it's not right the way they're being treated. But yes, unfortunately, these days, a lot of people are looking for personal gratification. They're looking for validation. Even I get some people coming on this channel. There was a guy a while ago, and he's like, oh, he's married, but he's like, oh, if I was single, I'd go and look at the person in the supermarket. I'd go to find someone in real life, like in the supermarket. I'm like, clearly there's someone you like in the supermarket. And they're like, oh, there's a woman, yes, she smiles at me. So clearly, while he's married, he's still thinking about a woman in a supermarket. But people get complacent in relationships, and guys will be like, oh, like I had an affair because I was bored, or my wife didn't understand me, or I was lonely, or I wanted to spice things up. If guys who were like having affairs and cheating use that time, energy, and effort to put actually into their relationship, then they'd have a much better relationship, and they wouldn't be bored and going off trying to look at other people, right? But it's up to them to spice things up. If they're not happy with the way the relationship is, what are they doing to change it? Usually nothing. They're not spicing things up. They're not taking the person to different places and doing different adventurous stuff together. They're not like trying to like have passion that they want with someone else. They're not instigating that. They're just being a bystander and passive. A relationship you have to be active in and proactive all the time, not just reactive. You have to be active. Like, a relationship is a full-time job, and people just don't know that. They don't understand it, right? You have to put as much time, energy, and effort into a relationship as you would do like a full-time job, or going to the gym to buff your body up. You need to keep working at it all the time. A woman that looks like this will never be alone long. Thanks, Ryan. That's growth. Well done. So just stay as teenager, never grow up. Well, yes, I like to live a teenager lifestyle, actually. Most people should have a sexless relationship. That will prove your loyalty. I think people should also have a long distance relationship that will definitely prove the loyalty. I personally can't do a long distance relationship. So people think that because I'm asexual and I don't need sex, I could have a long distance relationship. Everyone's like, well, not everyone, but some people are like, oh, a long distance relationship will probably really suit you then if you don't want sex. It's like, no, my second top love language is physical touch. So even though I don't want sex, I have to have a lot of physical touch, like holding hands, loads of kissing. Do you know what I mean? Like hugs and cuddles in a relationship. I'm not talking about just some neighbor who wants it because they're lonely. But I have to, like, my top love language, my very top love language is quality time. So I need planned dates, organized, and I need them to be together. Like I need them to be planned together and, like consult, not just spontaneously decide I'm going somewhere when I've got work to do and stuff. I need us to plan the dates to go, or, consult me, but plan in advance and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And, I personally can't do long distance. Top love language, quality time. Second to that is words of affirmation and equally physical touch, which might be really surprising because I'm asexual, but I need a lot of physical touch. Like, even I'm a hyper romantic and a hyper kisser. I don't know anyone in the world that's a hyper kisser. I've never met anyone. Yeah, I've met a few hyper romantic people. Well, they've said they're hyper romantic. I don't think they're actually as romantic as I am. But yeah, and I've never come across a hyper kisser of any sexual orientation. What I mean by hyper kisser is I can kiss up to 4 hours or more and not get bored, nearly non-stop. And I love physical affection, like, all the time. If I'm with a guy, I like a lot of physical affection, kissing, cuddling, holding hands, wherever we're going. And so I need a guy that's really comfortable with that and loves it as much as I do. Like a favorite hobby to share together. Like kissing and physical affection is like a favorite hobby. Do you know what I mean? I want someone that's really into that. Otherwise, I just will stay single. So yeah, personally, I wouldn't want to do a long distance relationship. I've tried it in the past. Like, I tried it abroad. That was a nightmare because the person could never come and live with me. He was just like a visa and they had problems. But I was going to try it. I was dating, like, online dating someone, and they said about a relationship, and then I said, I just don't think it's a good idea. So I've spoke to guys, like, dating type scenarios, and there was another guy as well in another country that we were like online dating, but it was no good. But anyway, even in this country 2 years ago, my boyfriend was in London, but that was too difficult for us because he was working in the week and then he used to come and see me weekends, but he was so tired out all the time. So really, I want someone who lives near me, but not actually in the same flat as me, which is why the neighbour downstairs would have been good had he not been a bad guy for me, if you know what I mean. As people pointed out, narcissistic traits doesn't sound very healthy, no, for me. So do you know what I mean? So in terms of, like, the fact he lives downstairs, that would have been the ideal scenario had it been a different guy who was suitable for me. So I like contact all the time. Like, I like a lot of communication. A lot of message and video calls, but I also have to, like, fit in loads of stuff in my life, so it's very difficult. What do you think about marriage? I personally don't like marriage. I used 2 years ago, but I don't agree with it anymore, for me personally. But my parents have been married 57 years. They're very happy together. There's the same attachment style, like the same type of lifestyle. So yeah, they're very compatible. If you're single, you try to check every person you see. I don't check every person I see if I'm single. I actually get most attracted to younger foreign guys, so my eyes tend to zoom in mostly on foreign guys rather than British guys, even though I'm British. If you can keep up the contact for like 10 to 20 years, the relationship is solid. Well, it's not just about contact. I've been in a long-term relationship for 8.5 years is my longest, and that was abusive. So it's not a solid relationship at all if it's like 10 to 20 years. It's not the length of time, it's the quality of it. Well said, you are so insightful. I have no idea how you stayed single. Why does the horse not drink the water, though? Do I like cuddling? I actually prefer kissing to cuddling. Most asexuals prefer cuddling and not much kissing. Most asexuals are, like, not into super kissing. I like tongue kissing, which is very, which can come across as very sexual behavior. I love tongue kissing. I remember when my boyfriend years ago, my ex-boyfriend, not my boyfriend now, don't have a boyfriend, but my long-term ex-boyfriend, when I was in a relationship with him, I remember when he first tried to tongue kiss me, and up till that point I'd only done open mouth kissing with my previous exes, and I remember thinking, oh god, I didn't know if I liked it. I felt a bit like when he first did it, and then I ended up loving it. It's my favorite type of kissing now. I really love it so much. And it's like really, really nice and gorgeous kissing. I love kissing. I really love kissing. I get so excited about kissing, not sex, but kissing. Kissing is my thing. Oh my God. Anyway, I bet I get very like, oh, excited over kissing. It's not good to talk to me about kissing because my mind goes blank and I'm just thinking kissing, kissing, kissing. I'm a hyper kisser, that's why. And my kissing's on my mind now. Oh my God, can you see I'm going red? I was already a bit red anyway. What's wrong with the house? What's wrong with the horse? 4 hours, yeah. Kissing, like the longest kiss I've had, it was over 4 hours. Yeah, but it's like I did kiss a guy after I went to a nightclub once, which he was older than I'd usually go for. And he was like, and he walked me to outside my flat and was kissing me still there. And he's like, "How are you doing it?" I said, "Doing what?" He's like, "How are you, like, stopping the urges? How are you holding yourself back?" I'm like, "I'm not. I'm asexual in sexual orientation. Don't have those urges. I don't get the need, urge, or want for sex." He's like, "What?" He didn't believe me, but I just kept saying it. But it was really bad. I found out he was still married. Like, he lied to me. He said he'd been in this country, he was single, and they'd been in this country X amount of months. And I found out that he was still married. And his wife, who he's separated from, he said, is back in their country with 2 kids. And he's like, "Oh," he said, that she had an affair with someone, so I'm over here. And he goes, "Oh, but my family thinks we'll get back together." I said, "Well, that was the end of that, and I wasn't interested in seeing him anymore because I didn't know he was still married." I mean, obviously, if he's separated, I know some people are separated, they see other people, I get that. But I just didn't like it, especially the fact he's got 2 really young children in his country. And he lied, you know what I mean? He lied when I first met him. And so I felt awful. So anyway, and then was it like 1 or 2 years later, he turned up on Facebook and said about it. And instead of admitting, "Yeah, I know I lied and I wasn't honest," he just made out that he didn't really do anything wrong. And I hate guys like that. You know what I mean? So 4 hours. This has to be some world record. Yeah, I wondered what the world record was for kissing the longest time. I do need to go to the toilet though during that time. I can't kiss for 4 hours and never go to the toilet. So, I do go to the toilet in that time and sometimes have a snack. But it's nearly 4 hours non-stop, do you know what I mean, or more. So I have kissed an hour before without going to the toilet. That's hard because I usually go to the toilet a lot. But sometimes the excitement makes me go to the toilet, I'll be honest. And other times I'm so excited, I kind of want to just stay in the moment and not go to the toilet. But yeah, I'm a hyper kisser. So, but I love, like, I'm very sensual with the upper body, and I'm so romantic. So even if, like, with physical touch, even if I'm going around the supermarket, so I'm going with my guy, I haven't got a guy, but say I have, hypothetically, I like holding the basket, the basket in between fingers and, like intertwining fingers together. I think there's something really sensual about the fingers and something like, oh, very exciting. Do you know what I mean? I'm into passion without sex, basically. Do you know what I mean? Sensual passion without the sex. It's like, yeah. Amazing is the word. I might travel to the UK soon. You're not good enough, Thomas, for her. I don't have facial hair, though. 1 box ticked. That's funny. Yeah, I need someone long term, not someone who's like, just going to come in this country, kiss and leave, because that's like the kissing hookup that I don't want. So yeah, there's guys in this country as well that are just here for study and stuff, and I'm like, "Are you just here for study?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, we're not suitable then, because I'm looking for a long-term relationship, not short-term or casual." Do you know what I mean? So I think it's pointless when the guys go looking for a serious relationship and they're only in the UK for like a year to do their master's degree, for example, or a few years. It's like, you're clearly not looking for a serious relationship if you're going to go back to your country. Maybe you are in your country going to have a serious relationship, because a lot of foreign guys, they come over here to the UK, they might have a girlfriend temporarily or whatever, and then parents will arrange them a marriage when they go back to their country, usually. Do you know what I mean? And then that's it. And it's like, I don't even want marriage, you know what I mean? So, Bro's viewers, first looks like a family dinner. Who are the other 2? Your mum and her lawyer? What? I have no idea what that person's saying in chat. Thomas's friend should be a great kisser. How do you know what Thomas is like, Ryan? Are you 2 friends? I've got a sneaky suspicion Ryan and Thomas are friends. And Ryan's tried his kissing. I mean, how do you know? Thomas's French would be a great kisser. Are you bisexual, Ryan, or gay? I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you are, but how do you know Thomas's French? I haven't seen in the chat, but then I can't keep my eye on it totally. I can see it when I play it back. And he'll be a great kisser. Or because he's French kissing. Oh, dearie me. And I told you I can't do long distance relationships either. Oh, dearie me. Groupies, faithful fans. Do you know what? I'm going to see a really funny film. Like, it's called, like, soon. I gotta have some sleep soon because I'm seeing this myself today. It's called High Pig. I'm not joking. Look, this is backwards, isn't it? You have to read typography backwards. The actual film is called High Pig. Hit Pig. Sorry, not High Pig. Hit Pig. HITPIG. Look at that. Hit Pig. It's an animation. What's it called Hit Pig for? I have no idea, but I self-date usually every Sunday. It's Sunday today in the UK now. You know what I mean? So I have to get a few hours sleep soon because this starts at 10 a.m. But I just think it's funny called Hit Pig. It's like, what the hell? Obviously, they're advertising this Toy Story coming out soon. It's not Toy Story, it's Hit Pig. I'm like, what the hell is Hit Pig? Who knows what it is? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what hit. I keep calling it Hip Pig. I usually change the round words I say as well on this channel. It's so funny. It's because it's late at night and my brain puts different words together. I keep saying I think I'll start my own dictionary one day. I have what's one of my favourite words I made up? Oh, what is it? Confident. It means I'm comfortable and confident at the same time. Confident. It's one of my favourite words to use. I just made it up once on my channel here. So yeah. So we need to go back to Hinge before I wrap up in a little bit. So yeah, Hinge, do I like it? So far, I like the graphics. I like the fact they got an asexual category. I like the fact you can do video prompts, although I haven't done a video prompt yet, and audio prompts. I like the fact that they give you lots of opportunity to write about different prompts, and they do, you know, they get people going in that way. Do you know what I mean? Like if people are stuck for things to say, those things are really, really good. But you only get one filter, so that I can understand you get anyway with the free version. And so that makes it really, really difficult. And as an asexual sex repulsed person who doesn't want children, who doesn't want marriage, who doesn't want sex, and who doesn't even want to live together, obviously that does limit you to less options. And also, like, I don't want traveling. I'm not into traveling as well. Most guys want traveling, yeah. So I know it's going to be really difficult for me to find the right person for me. And Hinge is new to me. Like, I've never used it before. I tried to set it up on my laptop once. I think it was that one, but it just didn't work out. I tried Tammy once on my laptop. Oh my God, that's an LGBT plus like website, an app, but I don't experience sexual attraction, whereas, and asexuality is part of the LGBT plus QIA, A standing for asexual and other things, in the acronym. So asexuality is part of the LGBT plus community, basically, as a minority sexual orientation. But, you know, like most people in LGBT are highly sexual people still, and asexuals generally are not, usually, if they're a pure asexual, for example, rather than grey asexual. And so this makes life really difficult. And when I went on there, it's just far too sexual for me. Within 24 hours, I couldn't stand it anymore. It was doing my head in. Like, even though, you know, like, it was for LGBT plus people, they were too sexual for me. There was like having videos on there, which are sexually explicit as well. I'm like, I can't be doing this. And I kept getting people like sexual comments all the time. I'm like, I really can't be doing it. So, you know, like, I'd rather be on a dating site that hasn't got that. And that's was the worst dating site, I think, for sex stuff I've been on so far. We just met. Oh, no, I'm hetero, he said in chat. You like old hags? Well, I'm not an old hag, Thomas. You need to go on a different channel. That means you are beautiful in French. That's not what it means in British terms. Old hag is really horrible. It means the person is very ugly and old, and I'm not either of those things, according to me. And so you'd need to go on another channel if that's what you're looking for. What I say matters to me. So yeah. Has some boobs. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, oh my God. Right, I'm British. I don't go by French language. Oh my God. The chat is getting very, very interesting. But yeah, so Hinge, like for the first 24 hours, I'm really glad that I have had about 7 matches. I have had guys to talk to, but I'm only currently still talking to one at the moment because I unmatched with the other ones. And yeah, so it's nice that I've got a few matches straight away and I've been able to see the matches so far because apparently they cut you off from seeing all your matches, so you have to upgrade. But so far I've been able to see all my matches that I know of. And yeah, but it's like I'm getting guys that want kids. I'm getting guys who smoke, which are clearly no good for me. There's only one guy I'm talking to still at the moment. Probably we're not going to be suitable for a relationship, but at least he's curious, which is nice. So yeah, hello again. So I think Hinge is worth a try. Are you looking? Am I looking? No, I'm not looking at someone in their 40s. Where have you been all your life? All my life for the last 10 years on this channel. Specifically say I like guys in their 20s that are younger than me, you know. Early to mid 20s is my preference. My last boyfriend was 27 years old. So yeah, I've had a British boyfriend actually who was 23. That's back in 2019. And then my last relationship was 2024 and he was 27. I like guys who are in their early to mid 20s mostly. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in guys near my birth certificate age, and I'm not interested in talking about my birth certificate age because it's not relevant to me. I'm not interested in it whatsoever, and I put that in my profile. Yeah, 20s. I like guys in their 20s. And I don't care what people think about that. So there's loads of older guys that go with younger girls. I'm an older girl that likes to go with younger guys, but often I'm too energetic for them anyway. Like, I put in my profile on... I was a bit brave this time. I thought I'll be a bit playful on this profile. And I put, like, dating me is like dating a bouncing bunny because I'm loud, bubbly, talkative, and energetic. But I'll let you decide if I'm cute and cuddly too. And I said, I'm not interested in my birth certificate age. I like guys in their 20s. I put in 20s because I couldn't fit the word that in. Yeah, so people like my birth certificate age, they're not like me in terms of energy, environmency, and whatever they do with their life. That's up to them. But I don't relate to my birth certificate age. I have absolutely no interest in my birth certificate age whatsoever. They expect someone on my birth certificate age to behave a certain way. It's like, no, it's like I don't cook for a guy. I don't clean for a guy. I'm not interested in being a housewife or a housemaid or anything like that. He needs to be able to cook for himself. I cook for myself. He needs to be able to pay his own stuff. I pay for my own stuff. I pay for my own bills. I have a strict budget. I look after myself. I'm used to living on my own for years, actually. Even when I was in my last long-term relationship, 2011, I was living separately from that person for the majority of the relationship. Because I prefer living on my own. Like, a lot of people, one of the reasons that split up, not over a lack of sex, actually, you'd be surprised, it's finances. Compatibility and finances. Finances are a big reason for a lot of arguments, but if you have your own place, you pay your own bills, you pay your own food, everything like that, it's all sorted. You don't have to worry about that in the relationship then. And I have a strict budget. You know, I have a budget of how much is coming in every month and how much I need to spend. I can't be overspending. I don't get into debt or anything. I'm not going to have someone making me like that. I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Usually, if I'm on a date even, I pay for myself and the guy pays for himself. That's the way I like it. Because often a guy's food is more expensive than mine as well, and drinks. And it's like, you know, if you split 50-50, it's not really 50-50. If you split a bill 50-50, but the other person's always having more in terms of food and drink, and you're on a strict budget, that personally just stresses me out. I have to live comfortably with my own means, with my own place, with paying all my bills, right? I'm not into like splitting 50-50 when I know that probably the guy's meals and drink is going to be a lot more expensive than mine. That's not fair. That's not 50-50. That is literally paying for half of both your meals, but when the other person's always having more, it's not 50-50. If some people want to pay more, that's up to them. But that's the way I like to do it. I'm okay if a guy wants to occasionally pay for an extra drink or something like that for me, because guys tend to, like that. Some guys are like, oh, I want to pay for this, I want to pay for that. And if a guy wants to do that occasionally, I'm fine. If they want to buy me an extra drink or something, will take me out for a meal sometimes, like as a treat for my birthday or something, then I like it. But in general, I pay my stuff, they pay their stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I wish I could go back in time, says Thomas. Why, you in your 40s? Sorry, did I say 30? I meant 40. Are you 40? You can still got chance, early 30s can apply. Oh, I'm turning 30 in 2 months. I guess I've missed my chance, but I'm 41, so I'm out. Ryan's 41. Well, I have put my filters up to 32, but that is like very risky for me. Usually a guy above 28 is getting too old for me, usually. Like I've had guys dating me and they're like, so what happens when I get older then? Are you not going to be attracted to me anymore? I've just sat there and sometimes and said, not much. That's not what you're supposed to do, is it? I'm like, but usually my answer, if I'm either sat there not saying anything to that, or I'm saying, well, usually when I get to know a person and form a deep emotional connection with them, then I end up loving them, even if even if they're not necessarily the way I'd like them to look, for example. So if I really love a person, if I'm with a person and we're like in a relationship together, I usually form an emotional bond, which would keep me being loving them, even if they get older. But I prefer a guy who looks younger all the time. If I have a guy like with a baby face, for example, who doesn't really age, that really suits me. Like loads of guys with baby faces, they literally get very self-conscious about their face and their body, because maybe they don't have any body hair, which I love. Maybe they don't have any facial hair, which I love. And they get very like, oh my God, I've got a baby face. And they get, I've met quite a lot of guys that don't have chest hair, which I love. And they don't have, some don't have facial, well, a lot that don't have facial hair. If they don't have facial hair a lot of the time, they, if they find it hard to grow facial hair, for example, they usually don't have body hair on chest. And I love that. But I've met a lot of guys that are very insecure about that. They're like, oh, I haven't got any hair on my body, because society makes them feel like they're not a real man unless they're really hairy. I don't like hairy guys. They look like gorillas to me, and they're not cute and cuddly. I like cute, cuddly boy next door types, Ryan, push another 9 years and we can kiss for hours, but I know you wouldn't break your values, which I respect. Yeah, like I'm really into kissing younger guys. Like I like, like one of my favorite kisses was with a 21-year-old, but it wasn't afterwards, because he said he was looking for a serious relationship, and actually he ended up stalking me on this channel for a while. It was awful, and kept coming on my pages and all sorts, and he lied, you know what I mean? So yeah, so you know what I mean? And he wasn't good. I was injured, right? I literally had my what was I broke my ankle at the time. I was still recovering, and he was late, and he made me pay for the taxi to go somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, I was on crutches. And he anyway, he was Indian. My favorite ethnicity is Indian. He was 21 years old, and he did kiss me, and I liked it, but obviously, like, he was doing it in secret, and he didn't want people to know in the end. And that's not what you said to me when we did a call beforehand. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a serious relationship. So you don't want a long-term relationship? Yes, I do want a long-term relationship with the right guy. So I do want a long-term relationship, but I want a guy who's in his 20s for a long-term relationship. Do you know what I mean? I prefer guys who look young all the time. What I was trying to say is there are guys out there like that, who have a baby face, who get very self-conscious that they always look too young all the time. They don't like it about themselves, but I love that. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm also saying is there are some guys, as I was explaining, well, usually I can love a guy, for example, I'm not even attracted to. My last long-term ex, he was only 3.5 years younger than me, but he looked much younger all the time. He looked really, really, really young, consistently. He can't, even now I've seen him, I'm not interested in him whatsoever, because he's not a good guy for me. But he lives not far from where I moved to here. And I've seen him, and he literally doesn't age. Like now he looks like he did when I was with him in 2011 was the last time we were in a relationship. He looks nearly identical. His hair, the way he walks, his clothes, everything. He just doesn't age. He's one of the type of guys that doesn't age, and I liked being in a relationship with he was only 3.5 years and birth certificate age younger than me, but he looked like 10 years younger than he actually was. And but when I first was with him, I was friends with him for 8 months before we got into a relationship. He was nice as a friend, but when we got into a relationship, it was not good. He was, he was abusive, but not sexually, actually, which was very weird. He was very kind and caring sexually, but no other way. He was although even though I'm asexual, I didn't know it at the time. But he used to say something because I wasn't that keen on having sex like he was, and he used to say to me, "I think you're a lesbian." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a lesbian," but he didn't understand why I wasn't really into sex like he was. Obviously, it's obvious now I was asexual, but I didn't realise it back then. Do you know what I mean? But I did that with him sometimes. It was consensual because I wasn't repulsed like I am now about it. But, I'd rather have been doing other things because I was washing up and he would try and instigate sex, and I'd rather stay washing up, and I hate washing up with my headphones on because I found that much better and interesting than sex. I really wasn't interested in sex. But, do you know what I mean? And he used to see stuff on TV, and I used to hate any sexual stuff on TV. I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV license, and I try to make sure the films I watch have not got sex stuff in them or sexual stuff. I just hate it. And he used to find that really weird and say, "Oh, you're just like a lesbian then." And I'm like, "I'm not a lesbian. I'm really interested in guys. I'm just not interested in that type of stuff." I think it's really important to know your own mind or what you want. So what I'm trying to say is my last long-term ex, I wasn't attracted to him when I was a friend. He's not my type aesthetically. Back, when I knew him, he wasn't my type at all. He had long hair, and I wasn't into long hair guys then. He was skinny, and I wasn't used to be like. Now I get attracted to skinny guys, even though I'm not skinny myself. I do get attracted to really skinny guys, athletic and stuff like that. But when I first met him, I wasn't into skinny guys. I wasn't into guys with long hair, and he wasn't my type. But because I formed a friendship with him, an emotional bond with him, that's how I became to love him. So even if I'm not, even if a guy's not my type, if I spend enough time with him and developed a deep emotional bond, then I can love him sometimes. Obviously, that guy looked really, really young. I have to say, clean shaven, of course. Super into kissing like I am. So that was a good thing about him. But yeah, so if I'm in a long-term relationship with someone and a guy gets older, what I'm saying is I'd probably have that emotional bond there that would sustain it even when he got older looking. I'd still have that, if you know what I mean. So he sounds awful. Ryan says, yeah, he was very abusive. Like my last long-term ex was abusive, physically, emotionally, and mentally, but not sexually. So yeah, everything was consensual with him, and he used to be very kind and caring during that time. But the rest of the time a nightmare. But I'm glad he wasn't sexually abusive. So yeah, I like living in the UK as well. So a lot of people that want to travel, and I'm not into traveling. I don't fly on a plane. I literally have a fear of flying, and I'm not missing out. I don't feel like I'm missing out by not going on a plane and seeing the rest of the world. I love the UK so much. My favourite city is the one I live in, Exeter in the UK. I love it so much. It's my very, very favourite city, even though I haven't visited every city in the world. I love it. I've got everything I want here. Obviously, I don't like the fact my ex is here. But other than that, or my exes, a couple of them, but you know what I mean? I do love my city. It's my favourite city. And then my second favourite city is London, which I do go and visit. Usually I go visit every year, do something in London. So that's my second favourite place to be, like my second home, I like to call it. So do you know what I mean? I have everything I need here. I don't have any desire to go traveling apart from to Disneyland Paris by Eurostar. I still like going there. I'd love to go there once a year, but I don't have the money for it, obviously. But that's my favourite place to go. I was afraid you were being sorry. So yeah, so you're saying something to someone in chat. So yeah, I think it's important, not to lower your standards. I know what I want, and I think it's very important to know what you want in life, to know what type of relationship you want, to know what you don't want. I'm learning more and more now about what I don't want in a relationship, like the type of behavior. Like when a guy just talks about himself all the time, he doesn't ask me many questions about myself. That's something that's a huge red flag. Even in friendships, I didn't even know it, but even in friendships, that's a huge red flag. If you're the one that's just consistently, or the majority of the time, asking questions about the other person and not really taking an interest or curious about you. It's like hard work, right? It's like you're doing all the emotional labor, and it's not healthy. That's all the growth and maturity. I'm proud of you. Thank you. So yeah, I just, you know what I mean? Like, I do have to have someone I'm aesthetically attracted to for kissing, so I can't say there's no looks component to my attraction to what I want. I can't say that I'm totally a personality only, because I'm not. That wouldn't be fair to say that. I think personality is very important though, because you can have the best looking hot guys in the world, but if they're really bad in behavior, in you know, like their intentions are not good, they're not curious about me and stuff like that, then, you know, that's really, really not good. And so I've learned that, you know, even the guys that I'm highly attracted to, I've got to be careful, because a lot of the guys I'm highly attracted to aren't actually good guys for me personally to be in a relationship with. They're really unhealthy for me. I'm not saying they're bad for anyone else. Like the neighbor downstairs, obviously, if he meets someone, I mean, obviously there's red flags that I think would be for any women, like coercion into physicality is not good. That's a red flag, universal, right? But, you know, I don't know if he'll behave differently with some other woman, but do you know what I mean? Like if he had a spontaneous girl who didn't really care about, and maybe who wanted to hook up or something, that might really suit him. Do you know what I mean? But it's not for me. I look pretty tall. I'm actually really short. I'm only 5'4", so I'm very short actually. It's probably because I got this halter neck on tonight since I've been out. So yeah, I lost height because I broke 3 bones in my spine in 2024. I was already 5'4.5". Now I'm about 5'4". I think I'm just under 5'4". I think I'm about 5'3¾". But when I measured myself, because I was trying to measure my height myself, which is super hard for the dating app, it looked like I was 5'4". Well, that's what it came out as. I had to put a tape measure up and then a ruler across the top of my head. It looked like it was 5'4", so I just put 5'4", but it might be slightly less than that. But yeah, I'm really, really, I look really nice this evening. Thank you. I was out earlier at a meetup. That's why I'm dressed up. Yes, don't get me wrong. Kissing is interesting. We've been talking about that a lot. Yes, I am a hyper kisser, so I'm going to talk about kissing a lot. It's just like a huge thing for me. That's what I mean. If I find a guy ever suitable for a relationship with me, then he's got to be into kissing, like a lot, which is hard, right? Because most guys who do kissing, they just see it as a prequel to sex, and I'm not interested in the sex. I'm just interested in the kissing. So yeah, so, and when I talk about kissing, I get, my mind goes, you know, like get like a giddy little schoolgirl or whatever you want to call it, giddy little girl, like I'm like kissing her. I'm like a teenager with kissing. What about kissing? No, don't be disgusting. I'm not answering that as disgusting. I don't go around kissing horrible people. I've told you that. I have to be aesthetically attracted to the guy to kiss him. Was my point, right? So I was saying that I have to have aesthetic traction in a relationship. I definitely wouldn't be kissing a narcissistic person who's been done for things with women. It's disgusting. It's a pointless thing saying that, right? So, it seems like Ryan and Thomas are interested in you. I think they've been listening to you for a long time. You should give them a chance instead of using dating sites. I have a lot of guys that end up coming in chat on various nights, talking to me, interested in me. But, you know, I don't date people who come through my YouTube channel who I have no idea what they look like, no idea who they are, don't usually live near me, and you know what I mean? I would never date someone who's just on the internet talking on my YouTube channel. I'd have to get to know them a lot first if I was suitable. Do you know what I mean? But exactly, you're 41, so you're out, exactly. Do you know what I mean? That's fame right there. Do you know what I mean? But I do have guys, like they'll come on and I might never hear from them for like months and they might pop back up, but some of them are married, which is really bad. I don't know they're married, and I find out they're married afterwards. There was one guy in chat once in the UK, and he was in the UK as far as I know, but he was actually Indian, right? And he was talking in chat, making out he really, really liked me, right? And he was asking me out on a date, actually in the chat. Yeah, he lived in London, that's right. And then afterwards, I clicked through his profile and went on his YouTube, and he's married. meant to be happily married. And I'm like, what the hell? And then he just and he emailed me as well after the show. And then I said, I saw your YouTube and I saw you're married. Like, I would never ever date a married guy. Like, do you know what I mean? I just wouldn't do that. And then he's like, oh, well, I didn't really mean it like that. I'm like, I know exactly what you meant. Do you know what I mean? Should have told his poor wife. It's hard, isn't it, when that happens? Because I don't know the wife, and like, who's she going to believe, me or him? Do you know what I mean? So, and I get guys on Facebook doing that as well. Married guys, particularly Indian guys, are married. I'm like, you should be talking to your wife, not me. I had one guy posting his wife on Facebook saying how happy he was and in love with her, simultaneously messaging me, interested in me. I'm like, you know what I mean? Usually I block those guys, the majority of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, even on my Facebook pages, because there's no point. It's just awful. I think she's going to believe him. Exactly. That's what I mean. There's no point. It's like, do I want to break up a home? Do I want to tell a woman what her husband's really like? Because I could have done that with a load of people. Sometimes I get very tempted, like, especially when it's on Facebook, because all I have to do is click through their person's profile and tell their wife, look, they're chatting me up, look at this message. But they just make bollocks up anyway, excuse my language. They'll just make rubbish up going, oh, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just saying I like her look, but, you know, like, you know, just like you like someone's look, or I was just saying about meeting, but I didn't mean on my own. I meant with you. I even had a guy once. And I found out he's in a relationship. He's like, yeah, but we're not actually together. We just live together. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, we're cool about seeing other people because, you know, we're separate, but we live in the same place. And I carried on talking to him. And then he admitted that, no, they're actually together. I was like, what's the point in lying? You just wasted my time. You wasted your time. And you just lied behind your wife's back. And you lied to me. It was just absolutely unbelievable. It's because you're beautiful. You can't blame them, I guess. Like, there was a guy on here before as well, and he in messages, he was married. He goes, I've never talked to a woman before like this. I'm like, what's going on? I've got a lesbian attracted to me at the moment. She's on my face. She found me in a LGBT plus group. I'm in the UK group, and I thought I'd post that because I might find an asexual guy for me in there. You know what I mean? And sometimes LGBT plus people can, you know, even if they're not asexual, like say as a bisexual guy, for example, pansexual guys, some of those guys, especially pansexuals, they really like go for their personality. So sometimes more than, you know, other things. So I thought maybe I'll find a suitable guy for me in there. So I posted some pictures about myself, and there's this girl that goes, oh, I'm in love with you. And I'm like, they're a lesbian. And I'm like, well, thank you for your feeling about me, but I'm into cis guys. And then she was saying, oh, but you know, you should try being lesbian. It's like, and then she came across on my Facebook profile and keeps liking all my stuff. I'm like, oh my God. And then she's like, oh, that's great, girlfriend. I'm thinking, I'm not your girlfriend. I'm like, I'm feeling really uncomfortable about it, to be honest. It's hard because it's like, well, I welcome people who are on the LGBT plus spectrum, but I mean, it's going too far. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I get like, yeah, she's addictive. Yeah, I had a guy come on really strong, because I have this as well. I have guys coming on really strong and they just go off. So I had another guy from that group. He liked loads of my posts, and he messaged me, but unfortunately I clicked decline friend request by accident when I went to click through to reply to him. Then he said, oh, I'll sort it out later, because I said I did that by mistake, and he never bothered. So I'm like, fine. But he was in another country, and the only photographs you can see of him is the back of him. That's usually dodgy when someone does that, when they're not showing you the front of their face. But yes, I get lesbians attracted to me as well. But yeah, this girl's like doing the same thing that the guy did, but she's like, oh my God. But yeah, when she's saying about like, oh, it's great, girlfriend, I'm thinking, I'm not your girlfriend. So yeah, I get lesbians. Even in nightclubs, I've had lesbians approach me. The guy's thinking it's going to go to them, the woman. Instead, they're coming on to me. I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, I get girls attracted to me, not just men, but I like guys, you know. So Thomas is across the channel, and Ryan is in the UK. But yeah, so I kind of get guys like, I get love bombed on my channel sometimes, even by I can get love bombed as just a connection with someone. So someone can come onto my channel, a girl, for example, or a woman, It doesn't have to be a man, so it's not tied to gender. And they'll come on, they'll just comment on loads of my posts for like a succession of time, and then I'll stop and I'll never hear from them again for months or weeks, or you know what I mean? And then they might start up again. The channel is closer. Okay, then Ryan, you have a chance. So do you know what I mean? So I don't, you know, like I'm used to people like love bombing me. I don't like love bombing at all, but people do it even on my channel. They love bomb my channel and then I don't hear from them again because they like being in the moment with me. They find it exciting. I get this problem quite a lot with dating, I have to say, which I don't know if it's just unique to me, but people like the idea of me. They like the fantasy of me, but not the reality of being in a relationship with me. They like the experience. I think it's because I end up creating a good experience for them. And as the world is kind of like, how should we put it? Sometimes the world is quite bland and sometimes the world's quite difficult and it is lonely, it is challenging, it can be upsetting, it can be miserable. Then when they are with me, I'm quite a live person and energetic, and I have an inner energy about me that I think they get an experience with me and they like the experience, but they don't want that in a relationship. I haven't found a guy that does, if you know what I mean. I didn't see it as love bomb. I really like the experience so far. Thank you. I'm up for a sexless relationship, says Ryan. Oh dear. Yes, but most people say they're up for a sexless relationship, but they don't mean it forever. Do you know, forever's a long time. But yeah, so you didn't see it as love bombing. Yeah, but I mean, like, there are people that come on and comment like loads and loads and loads, and I never hear from them again. Do you know what I mean? It's very similar to love bombing, isn't it? That's how I see it. It's like, you know what I mean? And I just like, obviously, you know, when people hear on my live streams, I do get some regular people coming on. And I'm in a relationship. Thomas is like, I am in a relationless relationship. I think this lady is the same. She just wants someone she can trust, and she's just shy. Who are you talking about? You talking about me being shy or someone else? I'm not shy sexually, if that's what you mean. I'm an asexual that has had sex in the past. I just don't like sex. I'm not interested in it. Not because the last person was bad, because they weren't doing that, but I'm just not interested in it. I'm not shy. Like, I kiss for up to 4 hours or more. You know, like, I've been in nightclubs before and on dance floors, and I've been snogging a guy before on the dance floor in front of everyone. I'm not shy like that. I'm not shy to, I need a guy who'll kiss me in public. Kiss on the bus, kiss on the train, kiss in the supermarket, kiss when I'm walking down the high street. That's not someone who's shy in that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like to be free. I like to have a guy who's free with me in that way, so we can kiss around theme parks and zoos and aquariums, and we can kiss in the cinema, and we can kiss where we're eating, and we can kiss in the supermarket, and we can kiss in the bus. It's quite funny. Because I'm into younger guys, right? And I'm kissing like on a bus or train, and like people are looking, and I'm like, I don't care. Because the last guy I was with, he's 27, but he looked much younger. When I say much younger, he got ID'd for an energy drink while he was with me. ID'd for an energy drink, and he had no ID on him. Most women would have just crawled under rock at that point with embarrassment and been like, probably not even been in a relationship with that guy because he looked that young. I saw his driving license to make sure he was the age he said he was. Do you know what I mean? I won't date underage people, obviously. But yeah, so I made sure he showed me his driving license early on before we got into a relationship. So yeah, but honestly, I'm like, oh my God. So most women wouldn't be able to handle that because he looked much younger, because he looked much younger than 27. Do you know what I mean? So, but I just don't really care what people think. I love romance. You think Ryan is very romantic, and then everyone clapped. But yeah, so I've been in a nightclub before, and they think I'm highly sexual and really want sex because of the way I kiss. And once, I remember years ago, I was in this nightclub in my city, and I was kissing this guy on the dance floor, and then I was actually kissing him on the table as well. I mean, no, I wasn't stood on the table, I was sat on a chair at a table. But I obviously I can sit on guys' laps sometimes, even though I'm asexual. I don't mind that with clothes on, not touching me in sexual places, hands around my back, right? And I was kissing him that much. The guy, the DJ shouting stuff out on the microphone, like, you two get a room in front of everyone. And also, I was kissing, like, it's really weird because where I live now, there's a nightclub at the end of my road, and it's shut down. Right, I remember when I last went to that a few years ago. Right, I went to a Bollywood event there, so it's very weird. And I was going to say something. Oh yeah, years ago, right? I kissed a foreign guy, right, on the dance floor in that nightclub, and I remembered the DJ there in front of everyone was telling us to get a room. Like, this was in a nightclub full of people, and I was snogging him on the dance floor. And he's very aesthetically attractive, but I didn't want sex with him. But I actually did. He's a guy I did have sex with. I ended up in a relationship with him. I had sex, and I got so bored. After 3 weeks, I'm just like, this is just boring. I love your cooking, but this just is so boring. I'm just really not interested in it. And I had to split up with him because of it. After the 3 weeks, I was bored with the sex because I'm not, you know what I mean? I liked his cooking. That was great because I hate cooking, but I'm like, I'm not interested in the sex. So, and his friend came on the phone and said, oh, I taught him all he knows about sex. I said, well, you didn't do a very good job of it then, did you? And he started going, you stupid bitch, rah, rah, rah. I'm like, I put the phone down on him. I'm like, oh my God, do you know what I mean? Because he was making out, he's bragging like his mate's so good at sex. I'm thinking, really, he's not, I'm bored. So, oh dear. So yeah. So how many partners have you had in your life so far? Oh my God, I can't even count. When I was a teenager, I had a lot of relationships. I used to always have to be in a relationship when I was like, my first relationship was when I was 6 years old with a heterosexual. So I might have to put my charger in, I think. Oh, still got some, because I know I was disconnecting then, but if I might, I've got it here if I need to. So yeah, so what was I going to say? Oh, you're subbed, Ryan. Oh, thank you. I was going to say a naughty comment then, and I'm asexual, but I shouldn't be saying that. So hopefully I'll be a regular now, but sometimes sleep this time. Oh, okay, that's cool. I thought you told me in the beginning, though, that I couldn't get a partner because I've got a mental health problem. Just because I've got a mental health problem, like I said, doesn't mean to say I'm not worthy of love and a partner. Do you know what I mean? Lots of people with mental health problems, they still have relationships. But yeah. We can share our issues together. Oh my God. Is that trauma bond? Is that healthy? But you know, like, obviously there's a lot of people on dating sites, you know, that's got, for example, ADHD, they've got that autistic, some people, they put this on their dating profile. Some people do have anxiety, they put that on their profile as well, you know. So, and people have disabilities. I've got disabilities as well, hidden disabilities. So I got fibromyalgia, which is chronic pain condition, affects the nerves and muscle of the body. It also affects energy levels. But, you know, I have like an inner energy, but obviously I can get exhausted from pain. Definitely not healthy, but very, very exciting. You know, you'll get the vibes. By the way, I'm not interested in football. I'm a zero sports person. I'm not interested. The only sport I do, if you want to call it sport, I say I don't do sports, but I do weightlifting for my spinal injury. You know, because I injured my spine, broke 3 bones, and in 2024, so I have to rehabilitate with weightlifting. But I can't keep a set routine because I've got fibromyalgia, so my pain flares up. And so I might be able to do exercise one day and then I might injure myself. Like even I've got bruise on my arm now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not sure if that's shopping or rowing because I got rowing machine as well. But my condition fluctuates all the time. So I have to do like live streams when I've got the energy to and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, so I have some like, you know, like people who have disabilities and mental health conditions. It doesn't mean to say they can't find a relationship, but they do have to work on their own mental health difficulties as best they can, and physical disabilities if they've got them. You know, like a person has to be very understanding about that. If a person's not understanding, kind, or caring about that, and they think the person doesn't deserve love or there's some problem, and you know what I mean, then they shouldn't be with the person in that relationship, because a person who's got mental health difficulties or disabilities, they need support, right? Not every people, like 2 people who've got different mental health or different disabilities, right? They're not always compatible, because sometimes one disability or mental health condition can affect the other person. So I'm actually in a disabled dating group as well on Facebook, you know. So I run asexual dating groups of my own. I'm in other asexual dating groups. I'm in more traditional dating groups. And I mean, I'm posting in one of the traditional dating groups on Facebook at the moment, and so far I'm just saying, you know, I'm asexual, because they're like, oh, how many, like, how much do you like sex? Like, how many times a week? And I'm just like, well, I don't have sex because I'm asexual. And they're just like all cool about that at the moment, which I'm really glad about, you know. So this is a singles Facebook dating, predominantly heterosexuals in there. But, you know, I'm still just being myself in it. So, like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just very, you know, so you know what I mean. So it's very important that like when you've got disabilities, it's very important you find someone compatible, because in the disability disabled group I'm in, they're asking, like, do you think it's better to be with an able-bodied person or another person who's got disabilities? I've got hidden disabilities, so I'm not in a wheelchair or anything like that, although with my fibromyalgia condition, some people are in a wheelchair with it or on crutches. So I'm blessed that I'm not doing that, you know. But obviously that I've had that since 2012. I was diagnosed with that fibromyalgia, and I've known, even in one of my old jobs, there was a kid who was like 15 years old, and she came in to the work, and she had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia at like 15 years old. I think she was 15, in her teens anyway. So that's really young to be getting it. So you can get it at different, you know, ages. You know what I mean? So yeah. And it's just like, do you know what I mean? So you have to like work with the person. Like some people, like, you know, like, so for example, I have anxiety. If I have another person with anxiety, that could work well. However, it could also go against us, because my anxiety might fire off their anxiety might trigger my anxiety, and so that might not be healthy. So when you've got disabilities and mental health conditions, you have to think, if the person you're with, are they going to be compatible with you, with including your mental health difficulties and disabilities? And you have to own them. You know, I'm not saying I haven't got them. I've also got CPTSD as well. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of really hard. But the most important thing we can do is own our disabilities, our mental health conditions, and actually come from a place of loving ourselves with them and understanding them and trying to help ourselves as much as possible with them. Do you know what I mean? And telling a person, explaining what we need, right? So I prefer to live alone and take care of myself much of the time. But if a guy can help me with like food shopping and stuff, that is helpful to me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't want to make the guy feel like he has to help me. But I'd rather find a guy, like, if a guy's got a car, I don't have a car, that would be helpful if he could like take me shopping and stuff like that. Which I think is quite a reasonable request if he, you know, if he really cares about me and loves me. I think that's reasonable. So I just think that it's important that, you know, you find someone who is kind, caring, empathetic about your disabilities and your mental health conditions. And, you know, I realised that if I'm on my own forever, I'm okay with that. You have to be okay as well. Like, I'm at a lot of peace on my own, in my own place. And so, do you know what I mean? I'm very, like, content being on my own. But, you know, sometimes it's like with kissing, I bring it back to kissing, it is difficult there. Because that's a really big thing to me that I like a lot. But, you know, sometimes I kiss guys in clubs, but I haven't been clubbing for a long time because I broke the bones in my spine, do you know what I mean? And I did end up kissing one guy after a meetup, but he never spoke to me again, even though he connected with me on social media, connected with me, he subscribed to my channel, and he connected with me on Facebook, and he never spoke to me again. Which I was a bit disappointed about. Like, I put a comment on his Facebook, but he didn't even like ever message me, and he's gone back to his own country now. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's for the best, because obviously he wasn't going to stay in this country. He stayed in this country for a long time, but he wasn't going to. It's a shame you haven't got the connection you're looking for. Yeah, it is a shame, I think, but I also, know that, I am okay on my own. I'm good on my own. I'm learning more and more to be happy on my own. And I've lived on my own for so long. So I've been taking care of myself overall for a very long time. But I think, there's part of me that does want a relationship, and part of me sometimes thinks like I'm better off like literally never having a relationship and being single forever. So I fluctuate between like really being quite interested in one to like, it's a lot of responsibility. Like when you've got disabilities as well, physical disabilities, when mental health condition, it can be a lot. Do you know what I mean? So you have to always like decide like what is best for you and for the other person as well. Do you know what I mean? And you have to be very open about things. Like my last long-term ex, he had ADHD, but he didn't have a very good version of it, if you know what I mean. It led him to being like hitting walls and hitting himself and all sorts of stuff. So I think he had a personality disorder as well, but he's only diagnosed with ADHD. But it was really like, but there's other people with ADHD and they just get hyper in their behavior. They don't act like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think you have to like, whatever person's got disabilities or mental health conditions, you have to like ask the person how it affects them. What it means for them in a relationship, how things might be difficult because of that. Like, what do they need? Like, what does the other person need? I think you have to talk around that. Yeah, it's 50-50, but when you get older, you'd be unhappy not having a partner. So if you meet someone that takes care of you, maybe go with him as long as he treats you correctly. Yeah, I don't want to actually live with a guy though. Because I like living on my own. I've been in a situation where I live with someone who didn't work out. Well, doesn't work out. I like my own independence and my own home because things can go wrong. So, I'm aware that people change and that's just a realistic fact. People do change. And, do you know what I mean? And so I would like a guy to live near me, but not with me, ideally, because that would be ideal setup for me. So we're really close to each other, there for each other when we need each other, but not living together. Yeah, a living apart together relationship, it's called. That's my ideal type of relationship. So yeah, but yeah, only if a guy treats me really well. But I haven't found the right guy for me yet. I'm still working on myself. I mean, I'm in my 3rd year of Love Life Club now. So, do you know what I mean? I haven't been on a new dating app for a long time. Like the only dating app I've been on for years is Badoo because I get free premium. Like I said earlier, the company got so like used to me being on there all the time that they gave me a premium account for free for like life, so long as I don't like I'm still on there. Maybe not live together, but yeah, I've already read that out. Yeah, so I think, like if people's listening to this, like obviously if you're dating, like you can tell it depends, like you might not want to tell someone straight away you've got mental health difficulties or physical disabilities, or you might. It depends what you want to do. But, sometimes you might want to let the person get to know you. I'm always very upfront about my asexuality. Like I put that in my bio or my prompts on, which is equivalent to bio on Hinge. And, that I'm looking for a guy who can live without sex forever, that I'm asexual and sexual orientation. I put that I don't want kids, marriage. I like an LAT, living apart together relationship. I'm not interested in sex. I'm very upfront about my asexuality. I think that's really important to be open and honest about your asexuality. And I just think that's really, really good to be honest and open about that. So, yeah. So I think it's really, really important. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And Ryan says, sorry, I got upset. Why? With what happened? So, yeah. I don't know what happened. Something happened in chat, did it? But yeah, so I think it's I think when you're dating, you have to be like upfront about a lot of things, but obviously some things you can discuss. I mean, if I don't live with a guy, like obviously it affects him less, my disabilities, in terms of like, I can look after myself, but I find it easier to live by myself because of my disabilities. If that makes sense, because I find it easier to take care of myself. And I do have to tell a guy that I'm not going to be cooking and cleaning for him and stuff like that, because of my disabilities. I get very energy drained with housework, and it's not pleasant for me. So I don't want to be cooking or cleaning for a guy, you know. And if a guy wants to cook, he needs to bring his own food and cook it himself. I don't use any pots and pans even. Don't use any pots and pans whatsoever. Put everything in a tin foil tray in the oven, cook it, or microwave, and then that's done. I don't faff around with pots and pans. You know what I mean? Because they're heavy to lift and it hurts my arms, and washing up hurts me. I've got a dishwasher, mini dishwasher. And I've got like a Hoover as well, robotic Hoover. We are all getting older though. Well, yeah, but you can't just go and get a relationship just because you're getting older. But I know people who get older, they do tend to think about a relationship more. But I'm still young. I still class myself as young anyway. Do you know what I mean? People are living longer these days. People are living often around 100 or more. So yeah, but I mean, I think it's a good point in terms of like people want to think, no, but disabilities get worse. Yeah, they can do, and they do. I agree with you. But I try and look on the bright side. But yes, they can get worse. But I know there's certain things that will make my disabilities worse, like cooking and cleaning for a guy that I don't enjoy will make me ill. It'll drain my energy. So I've got energy to do this now because I'm not cooking and cleaning and stuff. Before I came on here, I just had tuna with lentil chips. So do you know what I mean? And so I've got the energy to do it because I'm not draining my energy by doing other things like that. But yeah, some disabilities can get worse. My fibromyalgia anxiety has got worse over the years. It got worse after I did a job. But I broke 3 bones in my spine, though, in 2024. And I have literally got myself well enough, despite the fact I'm a little bit older, I've got myself well enough now to go back on roller coasters. I went on roller coasters on my birthday. G-Force roller coaster. I've been signed off by the specialist doctor at the hospital. I can now go back on G4 roller coasters after breaking 3 bones in my spine because I worked damn hard at rehabilitating myself. And you can see some of the weightlifting I did on here. I only use a 3 kilogram set. I don't use a heavy set because I was told not 2 years ago by a personal trainer. They're like, you, because of I've got a tendon problem in here. I tore the tendon years ago and it flares up sometimes. So, but yeah. After I had over a year's spinal rehabilitation with the physio at my doctor's surgery, and then I'm still technically on the pain management waiting list about my more exercises for my spine, and my arm does flare up and I end up getting pain in my arm, so I have to stop doing it for a number of days. I have to use ice packs to take swelling down because I'm allergic to most meds, and then start again when I can, you know. So yeah, I've done really, really well. So I don't let my birth certificate stop me from doing these things, you know. But they can and do get worse, yeah, some disabilities. And I'm so proud of myself, you know. I'm so proud of being able to like have achieved going back on roller coaster rides, something I thought I'd never be able to do in my entire life after breaking 3 bones in my spine, you know. And now I'm just so proud of myself. I work so hard. And I'm just so happy, you know. I got signed up. I went on roller coaster G-Force on my birthday because I got told I could in writing by the doctor. And I went on it and it was really good. I did have an accident on a ride, but it wasn't anything to do with my spine. Actually, my spine was great. I mean, I literally on the accident, the spine was not damaged. It was my leg and my hand that was. And that wasn't my fault. It was because it was a guy who asked me to get back off a ride to collect my bags, to go and take them on the bags. It's a kid's boat ride. A little boat ride, not a big G-Force roller coaster, which I was fine on. The irony of it, yeah. But yeah, he should never ask me to get back off the boat that was moving. And so I went back and get on the boat and it tripped over and injured my right leg and my left hand. So that's why I went to hospital the other day for my hand. I'm under the hospital team now for my little finger. It still got me. This finger still has problems with it. It hurts a lot when I'm moving it up and down, doing stuff like, you know, using a knife and fork, using 2 hands for my hair and stuff like that. So yeah, I had an x-ray on it this week and they said no broken bones, but I got ligament damage. So yeah. But yeah, I went on the roller coaster. It was great. I went on the biggest one, you know, the what's it called? Mandrill Mayhem. Oh my god. Like I went there Jumanji Land in Chessington. It was my dream come true because I broke 3 bones in my spine on the 28th of April 2024, a few days after my birthday, and I went to Chessington on the 26th of April 2024. I was absolutely fine then. No problem at all. I was literally going upside down on roller coasters. So my spine was fine. And then I injured it at a business event doing exercises they told us to do. And I went further than I've ever gone before in my life and broke my spine. So, sounds like he did it on purpose. What, you mean the guy on the ride? Did I call the police? It was a Chessington theme park in the UK. You can't call the police to there. But I have made a complaint about it, yes. If you're talking about that. If you're talking about the accident I had at Chessington, yes, I've made a complaint. I can't say anything for legal reasons about that, but I have put a complaint in. Yeah, grabbing hand sounded suspicious. Grabbing hand? Huh? I don't know what I said. When did I say grabbing hand? I'm confused. What did I say about grabbing hand? He didn't grab my hand. My hand went out to break my fall because I fell over a boat, right over the boat, and injured my right leg and my left hand. The guy gave me no help whatsoever on and off the ride. Now do you understand? So he asked me, I got on the moving boat. The moving boat was about to set off. He told me, you can't leave your bags there. This was a theme park where people put their bags out the way usually. Because it was very wet ride and I had 2 shoulder bags on. So he's like, you can't leave your bags there. So I had to get off the ride, go and get the bags, take them on the ride. I was rushing to get back on because it was about to set off. And that's when I tripped over between the platform and the edge of the boat. I went right over the whole boat with my body because it was a mini log flume. Not a full adult one, it was a kid's one. But adults could go on it, And so I went over the entire boat from one side of the platform to the other. So my leg ended up out on the right side, scraped along the boat. My body went right over. That's why I know my spine's really good, because it went right over. My spine wasn't damaged, and I put my hand out to break my fall. And I injured my hand in 3 places. The thumb, the little finger, and here. But on the little finger, I injured the other side of it. So somehow the finger curled over, which is probably why it went numb and I couldn't move it at all for a while. I couldn't bend it right over for a while. I have to do it now because I practice exercise, but this hurts when I do that, So yeah, so I went to see a specialist at the hospital this week because I've had it more than 6 weeks. It's supposed to heal within 6 weeks. And it was on the bone that it really hurts. And they did an x-ray and they said there's no broken bones, but you have got ligament. I was told when I went to walk-in centre initially that I got ligament damage, but yeah, I still got ligament damage. She said ligaments, unfortunately, can take longer to heal than a broken bone, than a fracture. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, they can take months. I'm like, great, weeks or months. I've already been weeks. And she's like, they can take longer than a fracture. I'm like, great. So probably going to have pain in my hand for a long time. I've got given a glove that I can wear, but it doesn't really do much. And then I got given some bandage stuff, which I put on when I went to Sainsbury's, but it got wet and then it just makes it worse. And then I have this gel thing I can put on, like a bandage with gel, but I tried that in the city centre and all my finger went white because it got wet and it just went white. So I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. So this seems like every time I do something, it just doesn't work. And it's supposed to help for a little bit. I don't have to wear it all the time, but so far I'm not having much success with it. Arthritis when older, I got it. You've got arthritis now you're older, is that what you said? Actually, I've never had arthritis in my hands before, but the woman says that in that little finger, I've got some arthritis on the thing. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't have arthritis in my hand. I'm like, not on the finger next to it, just that one. I'm like, surely the injury could have caused that. She's like, no, but I looked on the NHS website and it actually says trauma to, like, for example, the finger, trauma that's when you're still exercising it, when you're still doing all the motion of it, if you don't rest it, can actually cause arthritis in the hand. Like, you know what I mean? It can cause it. But when I broke bones in my spine, they found those arthritis stuff in the bottom of my lumbar spine. I'm like, I'm too young for that. And the doctor's like, well, you can get it when you're 30. You can get arthritis. That's when people start getting arthritis, when they're 30 and upwards. I'm like, great. He's like, but it's really good news because the doctors had MRI of my spine. He's like, but despite the fractures and despite, I've got loads of discs that are out of place, bulging discs, and arthritis in my lower back. But I've had fibromyalgia pain for years in my lower back. So probably some of that's been arthritis. But it's like, I'm still young. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, oh, people just don't usually see this stuff. It's usually asymptomatic in most people. But it's like my hand, that's what the woman said. I'm like, how can I have arthritis in my hand? I'm like, I've never had it. I was perfectly fine before the accident. I didn't have any problems with this hand whatsoever. And she's like, well, you've got it. Look at it here. But I think it's the impact I personally think it's the impact of the accident, but she says no. Because I never had a problem before. And she goes, oh, you've got some arthritis there. That's probably why it's giving you a lot more pain. I'm like, but I don't have arthritis in my hand. I've never had it. And then they x-rayed the finger next to it because I happened to get in the shot of one of them. But there's nothing wrong with the other finger. It's perfectly fine. So the fact that it happens to be the one finger that I've had a traumatic injury to, because it smacked, the concrete on the platform the other side literally smacked into it, and the nail was looked like it was crushed on top, because the nail itself, I had a cut in the finger, and the nail itself was cut into, and it was like all scraped on top, and there was all razors underneath as well. So do you know what I mean? It's like yeah. So I don't know, she's saying it's not, but I'm not convinced myself, because when it actually says on the AHS website, I can, because it's trauma, isn't it? It's trauma. Of course you can push things together and squish things, but anyway, I've never had a problem with it. So I'm really peed off that now it's hurting all the time when I'm doing like stuff like putting a wash on or washing my hair and stuff. I'm hoping it's just going to heal up, because obviously my bones, like in my spine, from April 2024 to this year, March 2026, I've had stabbing pain in my back because of my 3 broken bones in my spine. It takes up to 2 years for the spine, the bone in the spine, to form over the wedge fractures. There'll always be a weakness there because they'll always be in the wedge shape now. They'll never grow back into the usual shape. So it takes up to 2 years for the bone to like reabsorb. It's like bigger, wider, and then 2 years to it to be reabsorbed back into the body, so that the bone forms over the wedges, if that makes sense. Wait 20 years, then you'll know. 10 years, you'll be in way more pain. Thanks, you're not being very helpful. This is why I said you're so alone with a disability, because it gets way worse and no one to help you. Yeah, but I mean, what can I do about it? You know what I mean? I struggle now. When you said I got it, it's awful. So you got arthritis, have you? Is that right? Am I reading that right? Yeah, I mean, it is hard now for me because I'm on my own. I used to have someone who helped me, but that was a friend who got aggressive with me. So that was the end of that. I'm not going to stay around someone who, I'm not physically safe with anymore. Not emotionally, definitely not physically. So that was the end of that. So I've been taking care of myself pretty much ever since. Although the neighbour, obviously, the one who wanted physicality with me, which he's not getting, he took me shopping once and did some other shopping for me. And I do get some shops from Sainsbury's sometimes. I obviously buy stuff on Amazon as well, but I have a lot of other shopping to do, so it's hard. When I'm older, I'll have issues regardless if I'm happy alone. When I'm older, I'll have issues regardless if I'm happy alone. Yeah, I mean, like, I won't be in a relationship just to have someone help me with my disabilities. I would never do that, because that would be very selfish, entitled, self-centered, and I wouldn't be being in a relationship for the right reasons. But at the same time, obviously, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's not good with my disabilities and mental health conditions, because otherwise I'll get more pain, I'll get more stress and distress, and it will be no good for me. So, there has to be a balance. I have to get someone who's accepting my disabilities and mental health difficulties and can work with them as a team, which is what you should do, and discuss how they might impact the relationship and the situation that we're in. And all, you know what I mean? But I would never ever get, I there's lots of people that have kids just so they have someone to look after them when they're older. I would never do that. That's not a reason to have children. That's a person that's just having them for selfish reasons. So I'd never have a relationship just for selfish reasons. I'd have to have a relationship because I love the person and trust the person and really want to build something with them, within the means of what I'm able to physically and do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it can get worse. But I don't want to be thinking. I want to be just focusing on being as strong as possible in myself. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you can have a relationship and it can make everything much worse if you've got the wrong relationship. Like mental health pain, literally. Like if my anxiety is like activated really badly, and I'm stressed and in distress, that sets my fibromyalgia pain off much worse. The physio had very difficulties with me trying to get me to do physio for my injured spine because of my fibromyalgia and my anxiety play a role in making it hard for me to do exercise. I actually hold my breath. The physios told me I hold a breath hold when I'm doing exercises, which is not good because my anxiety, I don't even notice I'm doing it half the time. So it's like unconscious, but she noticed it. She's like, you breath hold. So how am I still alive then? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, you'll understand this in a few years. Do you know what I mean? Just be aware that someone that might not be perfect still might be good for you. Yes, but so far I haven't found anyone that's good for me. Do you know what I mean? No one's going to be perfect, but I haven't found anyone that's good for me personally. Doesn't mean to say they're not good for other people, but not me. So I'm not just going to be with someone and get into a relationship because I've got disabilities. That's not, and like I said, they can, if I get the wrong person, it'll make things worse because if I'm stressed and anxious all the time in the relationship, that'll make me have much worse fibromyalgia pain. I'll be in so much pain I won't be able to go out. I'll be energy drained, exhausted, because that's how it works. Mental health pain, stress and anxiety, which I have naturally anyway with an anxiety condition, if it gets worse, then it'll make my fibro pain worse, which means I won't have this much energy. I'll literally be on the bed, like just watching movies all the time, not doing much, because I'll be too exhausted. Like sometimes this week, the other day, I was like slept for over 12 hours because I didn't have barely any sleep the night before. Sometimes I don't sleep at all. And other times I have a lot of sleep. So, do you know what I mean? Like, so you have, it's only good if you're in a healthy relationship. For example, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, it actually, like, I was watching the Dr. Ramani, she's a world's leading expert in narcissism, and she's like, if you have like someone who's like narcissistic, it literally does physiologically make you more ill. It makes you have more stress in the body, even afterwards, and more trauma, and it affects your physiology. It can affect your physiology cells. It can, it can rewire your brain as well if you're under a lot of trauma and abuse, like a narcissistic abuse. It literally change your physiology and change your but do your own research. I'm not a medical practitioner or therapist or anything, but it can change your physiology and the way your mind is wired. Yeah, you can get a good guy, but you'll need to be maybe accept someone a bit older. I don't mean me, obviously, just older, more understanding. Yeah, but not all the older guys are more understanding, It's not like true that just because someone's older, they're more understanding. Do you know what I mean? There was actually an older indie guy I used to talk to online, and he literally stopped talking to me because I'm in pain with my disabilities and he didn't want to hear it. So just like he'd been talking to me for quite a while. He was in India and he literally just stopped talking to me. I think he blocked me as well. Because I said I'm in actual pain and he didn't want to know. He wanted to have the polished version of me all the time, pretending I hadn't got any issues. Do you know what I mean? But I like younger guys, and that's what I'm attracted to. I can't make myself be attracted to an older guy. Like, it's very rare that I get attracted to older guys ever. The only guy I am attracted to that's older is Daddy Yankee. He's famous singer who does reggaeton music. I love his music. It's one of my favorite artists ever in the whole entire world. And I love his music, and he always looks younger than he is. And he's 50 years old, which is older than me in birth certificate age. So he's actually older than me, and I find him attractive. The clothes he wears, his look, because he looks like he's in the 20s usually. Do you know what I mean? Looks like he's about 28 or younger, I think. He always looks really young, or, people might think he looks about 32, but he looks so much younger. I love his haircut. I love his clean-shaven face. I love his clothes he wears. His music's great. Obviously, I'm not going to meet Daddy Yankee. I'm not stupid that, that's a celebrity. But, and I don't think he'd want an asexual celebrity girl. You never know. But yeah, so like there was a 32-year-old Indian guy as well, and he's one that really broke my heart. I was like online dating with him, and he said he was going to get a visa to come. He used to live in the UK, and he said he was going to get a visa to come to the UK. He wanted me to get into a relationship with him, but I said I wanted to at first. I said like yeah, and then I'm like no, I can't, not unless I know you definitely can come over here. And then he changed his mind. He goes, well, I can't get a visa. And he said he fell out with someone in customs when he was in the UK. He dated someone in customs, and they would not let him back in the country. And I'm thinking there's something very dodgy going on there. Do you know what I mean? But he just changed his mind like that. And he was talking to me throughout COVID. And then as soon as COVID was over, it's like he didn't want to know me anymore. It was a horrible, heartbreaking thing. Definitely more so in 20s. They want different stuff. Don't judge everyone on that situation. I'm a guy, and I'm telling you, they won't understand this situation for long. I'm giving you honest advice. Yeah, but there are guys in their 20s that are good. Because I've been with a lot of guys in their 20s. Do you know what I mean? And people underestimate them. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even attracted usually to older guys in birth certificate age. I've been like, there was one guy who was older than me that I did date years ago, but he was highly sexual and he was not a good guy for me. He's actually a psychopath. I've a real life psychopath. I went with him away, separate rooms. I've told this real life story years ago on this channel. I went with him to a Thorpe Park weekend, Ministry of Sound Thorpe Park weekend. I've been dating him for a few months, and he was heterosexual or asexual. But it was very bad. We went to this, like the nightclub part of it later on, and when the Thorpe Park, it was a Ministry of Sound weekend that was on in the evening. And literally at the end of the night, when the clubbing part had finished, I found out they confiscated a blade from this guy. He brought blade into the club. It was awful. I didn't know. So so first of all, when we were actually at Thorpe Park in the day, I said, what's your best advice to give to me about you? He said, I wouldn't trust you I wouldn't trust me if I was you. So that really alarmed me. And then, yeah, they confiscated blade, but I didn't know they had, because the men had to go separate for the women. And he started talking to the security guard. I said, how do you know the security guard name? And he's like, they confiscated a blade. And I said to him, who were you going to kill with that? He said, not you. Absolutely awful. I had to go back in this guy's car, go back to the hotel, because I had no way of getting back to the hotel. And I had to go with him to Thorpe Park the next day. It was awful. I was so scared, and I was crying in the car, but I wasn't looking the other way. I wasn't speaking to him the whole time because I didn't want to rile him up, because they gave him the blade back and said, if you ever come back here again with this, ever again, we're going to call the police. And I was really upset, and this guy came up to the car, but it was me who was telling off. He goes, oh, come on, you need to go by now. And the guy was going, yeah, you need to go. Come on, we're holding things up. So I couldn't believe it. This security guard didn't even see that I was upset and needed help. But anyway, I just was like, it was awful. So he's a real life psychopath, and he was very weird. But yeah, so I had to spend the next day with him, and then I obviously never saw him again. I told him I can't date him again. Actually, I saw him once by accident. I bumped into him in the city. It's a guy that will marry you want, and he will be a bit older, more understanding. I don't want to marry anyone. I've said that already earlier on. I definitely don't want to marry anyone. I don't want to get married. I don't appreciate marriage. I'm not interested in it. My parents have been married for 57 years. I'm not interested in married life. I'm not going to cook or clean for a guy. I don't want to live with a guy, and I don't want to get married to a guy. I don't need marriage. I'm looking for a forever life partner without sex, without marriage, without kids. And I'm very certain about that. I don't want marriage. People change, and, sometimes it's not for the better. People drift apart, and I don't want to be having that. And I need to go on my self-date soon. What is the time? I don't even know what the time is. Oh, my God. It's 4:15, and I got a self-date. I've got to be up in, 8 o'clock. So I'm going to have to go, because I have to self-date every Sunday. I've already bought my ticket to the cinema, and my movie starts at 10. So I really need to be up at 8:30 or 8. Well, no, 8:30 is too late, I think. 8:20. I said 8 originally, but I don't know if I can push it to 8:20. But I've got to have a shower and stuff. So I need to get some sleep. But yes, anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I do recommend trying Hinge to anyone who's listening. Even if you decide that it's not for you, it's good to have a try. It can be a bit addictive, though. That's the only thing with the swiping. And loads of people to look at. It can get addictive, so watch out for that. And yeah, Hope you've enjoyed this video live stream. I know we've gone off topic quite a lot, and thank you, Ryan, for being here. Thank you for everyone else that's been in chat earlier, Thomas, and other people. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon if you haven't already. Grab a copy of my Asexual book, Diary Confessions of a Hyper-Romantic Asexual, 78 Life Lessons to Ace Your Life, on Amazon. And if you're new to asexuality, you can get a copy of Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories book on Amazon. And if you want a superhero autobiographical book, you can read Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, How to Manage Fibromyalgia to Have Less Pain, More Energy, and Feel Happier Like a Superhero Rock Star, which is an awesome book to read. They're all available on Amazon. I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. Have a good day. Thank you, Ryan. Take care, everyone. Lots of love. Bye, and stay ace.